Habit Awakening, a beautiful, gorgeous wellness center who will adjust you mentally, emotionally, and physically. Also, it will help you to manifest your finance, anything and everything you desire for. This place is a very beautiful place which is located in Corona Del Mar. So please book your appointment today.
listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, Enlightening Television. Welcome.
Time for Jacqueline Close-More Live with Jacqueline Close-More. Jacqueline Close-More. Live from jacqueline.com.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Jacqueline Close-More Live
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello and welcome back to the show. I'm Jacqueline Close-More and this is Soulstar Radio on the A1R Psychic Radio Network and Moonstruck TV. So thank you for joining us today. Now, I've got a fantastic guest for you. I believe you're going to love her. Her name is Danista Dazi, and she's joining us to actually talk about women's empowerment, which is actually a pretty big subject. I was talking about that a couple of weeks ago, and I just wanted to go a lot deeper into that. And Danista is a homeopath, a healer, and storyteller. Over 35 years of experience worldwide. She has lived and worked in Santa Fe, USA, Europe, London, India, and now Australia. And she has 5 adult children and 3 grandchildren. That's quite an effort, I've got to say. And she currently practices from Byron Bay and consults worldwide. Her main work is with women using sacred medicine, homeopathic potency, astrology, and Jungian dream work. I love Carl Jung, both in private sessions and workshops. And many clients call her the midwife to the soul, and she offers mystical journeys for women to explore and reclaim the divine feminine using these tools of sacred medicine in homeopathic form and dreaming, whilst also utilising the power of nits to sift shadow from gold. I love that alchemical sort of transformation that we talk about, turning gravity into levity and lead into gold. And, you know, we talk about the old alchemy of, these metals being poured into cauldrons. And really it's that sort of thing of, it's more of the energy, the mind, the matter and the emotions. But thank you so much for joining us there, Danista, on the show. And welcome to Soulstar Radio.
Thank you so much for inviting me this morning.
Can you hear us, Danista?
Yep. I can, yes.
Welcome. Beautiful. And so tell us a bit about your journey there. It's quite extensive. You run a homeopathic school and you're entering into a lot more of the Jungian work now.
Yes, I am. It's been a dream of mine to marry the two together for a long period of time. I mean, certainly alchemy affected the way I chose to approach my homeopathy, and over the years as I've worked more with dreams and sacred medicine in potency for women, especially for women, to help them recover their power and to recover the divine feminine, it just keeps growing itself. So it's always new, so yeah, always new.
Beautiful. So tell us, when we're talking about women's empowerment, what sort of things are you seeing when women are coming to you and they're, lost or confused or going through a life change?
Well, I think that there are kind of several initiation moments in a woman's life. One starts with menstruation, one starts when they become a mother, and the other starts later in life. And I think in today's society, which is a very patriarchal culture, women tend to become lost. They're overextended, they're multitasking, they're trying to meet these high expectations, and they're feeling incredibly empty and unhappy and unfulfilled. And of course, because we're like a whole system, the body and, that's housing the soul is a very intelligent system, and it gives us a lot of information about what we need to know and what's right or wrong for us, through not only our dreams, which is a fascinating way of getting under the filter, but also, through our body symptoms and all of that kind of thing. And, these expectations that women are always trying to meet are silent killers of the soul, and women feel incredibly frustrated and impotent, and some of them are just sinking into misery, and, they either end up medicated or acting out, and not all women will recognise that, but some think that something's wrong and they want to go for it. And some of the women that I've worked with are extraordinary women. They're they realise that nature, Mother Nature itself will orchestrate a forest fire to like change things. And when things fall apart, they often think something's wrong, but it's that falling apart into chaos that needy as women. And less likely to be guided by this patriarchal expectation of, what a woman is and what was that movie, What Women Want, but do women actually really know what they want, what's good for each individual woman in that sense, and they've got to be pretty brave women to kind of dive really deeply, into like the oceanic kind of womb of the divine feminine, to find who they are, to find their real beauty. Because I think life without beauty doesn't have meaning, but it's these distorted images of beauty that get sold to women in that expectation. I mean, beauty's everywhere, everywhere. Yeah.
And it's kind of a bizarre beauty. And one thing I used to sort of point out years and years and years ago to women, and still am pointing out, is they'll go to a petrol station, certainly in Australia, and back in the day, you would be heading towards a counter and you'd be confronted by images of, women with barely anything on the magazines. And now it's simply images of women that are very skinny and clothed on magazines, but nevertheless it's this image of you must have this size bust, this size waist, etc., etc. And then right next to it are all the chocolate bars. It's like, here's what you should look like. Good luck. There's the chocolate bars because you probably feel awful, so go and have a chocolate. That'll add some weight onto the hips, and you can just numb yourself. What sort of things do you, like you've got food? What other things are people using to numb themselves? I guess from their feelings. Because with Jungian work, it's about getting more in touch with your real feelings, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if we actually don't feel our feelings, and that's in a context, in a safe place, in sacred space, then we just start unconsciously acting out. So this journey is about undoing a lot of those reference points, that we've been given about who we are as women and what we look like. I think the whole increase in like plastic surgery and lip enhancement, all of that as well is like a whole new kind of distorted way of women trying to refigure themselves. I mean, years ago, I used to see so many young anorexic girls and girls with eating disorders, and it seems to have like leapt into now trying to re-sculpt themselves this way because it's like they're never good enough. They're not. They have to meet this image, and they're never good enough. And now, I guess with the internet and the media being so prominent, this kind of acting out can happen, in a kind of full frontal way on the internet, and that emptiness inside they feel is being filled somehow by so many followers and so forth in that kind of way, So it's as I said, it's tough, but like when we turn deep inside and we find out who we really are and we're content with that and we're satisfied, then becoming more whole, we become like more healthy. I mean, it's a long piece of string to undo the patriarchy, which also affects men, as well as women. But in this today, we're speaking about women. So, helping them to find their greater, deeper being. A lot of them will shake that off while they unravel the self and the culture that they've taken on over so many years, So, I mean, my early experience in the 60s and the 70s was, the rebel hippie, and then all of a sudden you're trying to make yourself into something. And when I gave up a very straight career, I was so happy to be taking all the stilettos and the handbags and everything down the op shop, and I felt like I could finally just be myself instead of the expectation of what other people thought I was or wanted to be. And I think all women suffer from that, so yeah.
There's a lot to be said about the issues of high heels. Why high heels and men don't, for example. And recently I saw a man walking down Toorak Road with high heels on, with his lovely pinstripe suit, and he looked gorgeous. I've got to say, he had matching swing tags on his mobile phone to what was on his little boot heels. And I thought, well,
Wow.
if you can wear that, that means I don't have to wear makeup, means I don't have to, which I don't have to anyway, but it's what society is telling us. And this idea of and construct of, you know, like, for example, why women's clothing doesn't have pockets, you know, why men have such thin wallets and we have to carry these stupid handbags. You know, so it's this whole sort of, you know, thing that where people go, oh, but society's equal. And it's like, yeah, no. So
I mean, those things are all fun to play with, aren't they?
Yep.
And to dress up in every now and then, but it's just that pressure, like that constant kind of pressure to always be. I mean, gosh, I can remember when Mary Quant brought out the first makeup to make love in, which was sold as you can go to bed and make love with this and it's not going to smudge, back in the 60s, you know, and at the time we all thought that was fabulous. And you know, when you kind of think, I just don't want to be this person anymore, I just want to be a little bit more free, you kind of feel incredibly relieved, you know, to be who you are in pure possibility without that kind of restriction. I mean, it's a relative thing in each woman, and, you know, these are like exaggerations, but I think they make the point. You know,
oh, so. Gosh, yes. So tell us about the Jungian dream work. You're very excited about that, and you know, what does that, how is the process work for people with that?
Well, the way that I like to do it, because my work is really directed at women and self-empowerment, I believe that dreams have so much energy and meaning for us. You know, there's an old saying that a dream missed is like not opening a letter. And you know, the unconscious is providing its take on life and our growth all the time, and helping women to unravel that without flattening it down like, you know, a folded piece of paper, and keeping the dream like a kind of almost numinous remedy to help them, you know, unravel themselves and get to the heart of who they are is quite amazing. And I like to often set it up with, I mean, obviously having a session with someone is entering into sacred space, but I also like to set them up sometimes with getting the dreams going using sacred medicine, but as in potency, in other words, a homeopathic version of the sacred medicine to kind of kickstart the dreams in that sense and kind of loosen things up, which is much more gentle and revealing for them. And at the end of the day, you know, they're the one that's going to have the real deeper meaning, but it's helping them to learn to like understand their own symbols. Symbols are very, very powerful. They're you know, pre-verbal, you know, and they last forever. I mean, a dream that you had 25 years ago can still be relevant and still have hold that quality of real numinous energy, you know. And yes, sometimes they can be precognitive dreams as well too, and they can be kind of woven together. And it's a beautiful way of starting to unpack things so that we know where we've got somehow who we are and all caught up in our shadow, and working that out and freeing ourselves from, you know, the ties that have bound us for like so many years. And it's been so fascinating as well too, because, you know, after having worked as a homeopath for years, so many people have so many physical symptoms, and, you know, the original state of homeopathy, as was alchemy, related to the somatic expressions that come from the deeper psyche into the body. And people think that things in their body just happen for no reason, but these are also like messages. And, you know, a lot of symptoms seem to like waft away just using that as they get the realization about the message. I mean, you know, sometimes life speaks in whispers and we ignore it until there's what's called an antiodromia, or an opposite, and something happens outside where it's the anti's been upped a bit more, if you like, to really get our attention, you know. So helping women to take the time to watch the dream work and to re-enter the dream later. Carl Jung called it active imagination, but it's got its history in you know, the realms of magic and the occult as well, to go back into like the scenario and see what happens, or see if something changes at that moment. And when life is pretty tough and people feel like they're in that moment where it's this choice or that choice, to just help them learn to stand in that tension, not either or but and, because when we can stand in and, something else will happen that releases. And also the important thing is to be able to slow down in this world that's so fast and so hard on our nervous system, and just patient waiting. You know, that I call it patient waiting, just waiting for something to turn. And that feels sometimes, you know, in the dark night of the soul quite tough, but you find that it will shift, something will shift, and either there's a realization or a possibility is released. You know, it's quite amazing to see it happen, and to see the women kind of get it, you know, like it's just to kind of hold them in that space while they get it, you know. So normally if they go for it, they become very, very passionate about it, and they can usually move in and on themselves. They've got a pretty good idea sometimes of, you know, what's going on. So, yeah, we have to remember, you know, the divine feminine energy is quite chaotic, and it's been held back for a very, very long time. And it's very powerful, you know, very, very powerful. I'm sure you've had experiences of that in your life. Yeah.
Absolutely. There's been these sort of times where I've sort of, I remember many years ago, and I remember coming up with this fever. And I went, hello, this fever's a bit different. I don't actually feel sick. But this fever, I got, this morning, you need to go up to this particular suburb that I'd had all sorts of trouble getting a rental in. It was very near my mother, and I was needing help with my children at the time. And I'd tried the year before relentlessly, gotten absolutely nowhere with real estate agents who would send me to addresses that were already rented out, knowing they were rented out already, just wasting my time and, you know, not helping. And so here we were a year later, and I'm getting told in the morning, this fever is for a reason, don't go to work. And I went, okay. So I rang up work, sorry, I've got a fever. No, I really did have a fever, but I didn't feel sick. I'm like, this fever is a shift. This is a feeling that's different. I don't feel sick, yet I have a fever. Right, so I got in the car in my work clothes and just turned towards this suburb. And, you know, it was a good 30-minute drive from my house at the time. And I'd gotten up to the real estate agents about 10 minutes before opening, and usually these people didn't open until sometimes 5 minutes after, you know, their 9 a.m. start. And I remember walking in and saying, right, I'd like to see this property, this property, this property. Oh, well, have you seen them out the front yet? And I said, yes, of course I have. I hadn't, and because I was just that up to here with it. I was sick of it, and I hate telling lies, but it was like, no, I've seen them. And then I went to the other real estate agent. I'd like to look at this property. I'm sick of looking at rentals. I don't have time for this. I don't just started looking. It's just that I had looked a year before, and I was sick of it from a year ago. But, you know, this particular property, you know, well, it's 10 o'clock, there's a couple going to see it, so you can go there too. And I went, thank you very much. I just, you know, can't keep doing this. I can't keep taking days off work, blah, blah, blah. And so I drove around to this property, and I went, oh my God, that's the property that I drove past 2 years ago thinking, geez, if I could just get a rental up here, that one sure would be nice. And it didn't have a rental sign 2 years ago when I drove past it. I just picked it out and went, that'd be good. So here I was pulling up to that same house thinking, my God, if I get this, I'm going to be happy, because this was going to be my last ever rental as far as I was concerned. That was it. I'm done, you know. So I go in at 10 a.m. and the other couple are there, and they're actually opening the wardrobes and looking through the wardrobes and going, oh, it's plenty of space. And they're really, you know, articulately going through and taking a long time. And I'm just walking around putting on the unimpressed face. Because that's what I got in, and, you know, I got intuitively put on the unimpressed face, walk through it very swiftly, and then at the very end of it say, well, I guess this will do. You know, it's not really, you know, completely to my liking, but it'll do. And I really can't afford to keep taking days off work. I'm very busy. I'm missing a very important meeting this morning, don't you know? And, I really just need to find a place quickly. It's going to be convenient to my mother, and the children could go to school. It's literally, 1 minute walk to school. And I just, let me. And then they got into a bidding war with each other, and they actually started dropping the rent, which is unheard of, because usually in Australia, you're actually bidding to the rent up to get it, that if anything.
Yeah.
So they were dropping the rent. I actually ended up getting $50 a week off the rent on this place that I actually really wanted, because the energy, I had just gotten to that point of going, you know what, I'm just going to I had gotten to the point of going, this energy just needs to bottom out. And then the fever happened, and it was like everything broke and moved. And it was literally the next day I was signing the contract. The day after that, I picked up the keys. And the day after that, we picked up and moved into the house with packing boxes real quick. So it really is that shifting of energy that we're sort of talking about there, that if people can sit in that uncomfortableness, or the app, or go and do this quickly, soothing through outside mechanisms. And what you're talking about is that self-soothing, that quietening, and that just shutting it down for a while. That's really quite beautiful. Thank you so much for coming on air with us. I'd like to really get you to explain how people can reach you.
Okay, so at the moment, I'm having a new website done, but my email is at the bottom of the show notes, which is denistadevi@gmail.com, and if anybody wants to book a session, they can do it through that. The website will be up next month, and that's called The Night Seed Journey, which explains all the work I do with women using sacred medicine and dream work and homeopathy and the workshops and all of that kind of thing. So, in the meantime, that's probably the best contact as well too. So thank you so much for having me on today. That's been a lot of fun.
Good, brilliant. Thank you for joining me. And what we'll do as well is we're going to put the links up on the Facebook page so people can find. And when your website does go online, do let me know because we'll have you back on it. Okay.
Yes.
And I'll also link your website through the page as well. So that's going to be really good. It's
fantastic. We'll try and get it done before Mercury goes retrograde, which I believe it's about to do very soon. So.
Good old Mercury, that's a whole other subject, isn't it?
We could talk for hours about that one. Yep. So, this is a funny month this month. It's a bit of I think it's a very heavy month, and there's a couple of respites with Jupiter and Neptune contact. So I'm kind of aiming for that, I think, very dreamlike. So, but thank you so much, Jacqueline. It's been lots of fun.
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Denista. It's been a pleasure. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll look forward to catching up with you next week. And there's going to be more shows on A1R Radio coming up next, and Moonstruck TV. Catch you next time. In the meantime, sending you lots of love and light. Bye.
Okay. Bye to you too. Bye, darling.
A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Angel Guidance by Lisa Shore. Live from PureLoveEnergy.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Angel Guidance
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, welcome. My name is Lisa. I welcome you to my show, Angel Guidance by Lisa. Today it's a little different from normal or from the way I was doing things. Isn't that something we've heard a lot about recently? Changing things around. So I'm embracing change. And today will just be a show that will focus on some things that you may need to work on as guided by your higher self or your angels or your spirit guides. And then we're also going to do a little bit of healing work. And that healing work is something I hold near and dear to my heart. So I just want to take a moment and say a couple words about what we are all experiencing, especially if you're here in the United States. There's a lot of change, obviously. My reading for myself this morning, which I do every morning, I asked about the outer world, and the outer world definitely has changed. We had a lot of cards that represented, a change of the structure of things. But what I also received in information was that this is not something that we all can't move forward and actually come out on the other side in a very positive way. And I was so grateful that that message came through, because a lot of times when we go through change, we tend to see the only outcome to be negative, or we don't know what the outcome is, so we're going to say, well, it may be something I wouldn't like. We don't know that for sure. And so it's always good to keep the positive at the front of your mind, because that will actually help manifest the positive. So there's a few things we're going to do. The first thing is I'd like you to, I'm going to draw 5 cards, and I'd like you to choose a number between 1 and 5. And this is the thing that your guidance is telling you you need to work on. All right. So I'm going to draw a card, and this is, I'm using the Judith Orloff deck. It's about surrendering and what we need to surrender in our lives. And we all need to surrender something. We're not walking around perfect beings of light just yet. So I'm going to draw 5 cards, and I'm just going to lay them out and read each one. So make sure you've drawn, you have a number in your head between 1 and 5. And I'm drawing. Let's see. 4. And these are all really good cards. Okay, so you chose card number 1. The first one is surrender to wonder and awe. Okay, so what does that mean? Surrender to wonder and awe. Well, you know what? We're going through a really serious time right now, especially here in the United States. People's energy is low, they're upset, they're angry, they're moving through trying to understand what's going on. And this is a reminder for you to remember there is still magic in the world, okay? And things aren't always going to be bleak. So open to the magic of every moment and sense the awe and wonder in all of life. Sometimes it can just be like seeing a butterfly fly by and observing that and just being with that. It can be that simple to bring you up out of feeling angry or fearful. Your attitude will keep you connected to this flow of awe and magic. Okay, so surrender to wonder and awe. That's if you chose card number 1. Number 2, surrender to inner peace. Okay, and when you surrender to inner peace, this is something that's a process, okay? We work on this daily. Inner peace isn't turned on like a light switch. It's something that needs to be cultivated, okay? So inner peace can be achieved through sitting in awareness, closing your eyes and breathing, taking a walk in nature. That's how we can connect to our inner peace, okay? If you focus on the stillness within, you will start to enjoy that. Because really, peace starts from within. It's not starting on the outside. It always starts within. Okay, if you chose card number 3, surrender the idea that you can fix someone. A lot of us are helpers and healers, and we really want to hear people and assist them and help them through what they perceive as a horrible time, or a time when they're unhappy, or a time when they're angry. And we can certainly help people, but we can't fix them. Okay, they have to fix themselves. All right, so it's time for a relationship that you're in to shift. And it doesn't work to try to fix someone. Each person must be accountable for their own healing. That's why we're here. You know, we come in as separate souls. We're not coming in globbed onto someone else's soul, and it just doesn't work that way. We are our own spiritual beings, and we are on a path, and we need to work on ourselves. You can help, but you can't fix. Okay, the 4th card, surrender to joy. That's another really good one, similar to surrendering to wonder and awe. So when you surrender to joy, that means that's your key to a positive life. If you start to look for the joyful, the positive, the happy, let it in. Stop looking at what can go wrong or can be negative or won't work out the way you think it should. Because a lot of times Spirit has a way of giving you something as an answer to, like a prayer, for example, that's not exactly what you thought it would be, but it worked out better. I bet some of you have actually gone through that. So during hard times and easy times, surrender to joy and start to figure out what brings you joy and bring that into your life every single day. Okay, the next card, surrender resentments. Okay, if you resent something, that means you're upset about it. You're angry. There's something inside of you that's saying someone else has something, or someone else is doing something that way, and I don't like how it's working for them, and I don't like that I don't have it. Okay, that is only going to continue to bring into your life more resentments. If you hold on to resentments, like you haven't forgiven someone for something, you're really only going to poison yourself. Okay, so try to forgive others for their shortcomings and keep moving forward towards positive situations. So don't hang on to what is something that you would consider to be wrong about someone. Let it go. You're only going to bring yourself down. Okay, so those are the 5 cards. Surrender to wonder and awe. First card, surrender to inner peace. Second card, surrender the idea that you can fix someone. The 3rd card. The 4th card is surrender to joy. And the 5th card is surrender resentments. Okay, now, whatever card you drew is the card for you during this mini healing session. And I want to share some healing with you. Part of the reason why I share healing is because I can tell you, till I'm blue in the face, what the message is. But if we don't actually take action and work on it, we're just gonna, it's not gonna change. Okay? So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes, relax, deep breath. If you receive from me, if you receive this healing, I want you to accept it now. And some of you actually may notice light, you may notice vibration, This is Reiki healing, so you may notice some things that are going to shift in your energy field, and that's perfectly fine. So take a deep breath and release. You may feel waves of light flowing from the top of your head throughout the body and down to the bottom of your feet. I'm feeling someone is having some energy in their hands, some heat or light, some tingling, vibration. That means you are a natural healer. I'm feeling an expansiveness and an opening of the heart area for someone right now. And I'm also hearing for someone that their angels and their guides are with them because they're going through a particularly challenging time right now personally as well as in the outer world. And I feel like this person's connected with the letter M, the name Mary, or a letter M name, female, is what I feel. Remember to breathe. Continue to breathe. You may notice a tingling or vibration throughout your entire body. And that's a shift of energy, an expansion of your light. So now take a deep breath and we're going to close. Bring your energy back into your body. And I'm sealing this session. And you ought to be feeling peaceful right now. If you'd like to share your feedback with me, I invite that. Please join my group, Reiki Live, on Facebook, where I give live Reiki sessions for 15 minutes at a time, a couple times a week. Thank you so much for joining me today. I wish you all the blessings and love and health and light in the universe. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
To A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network. and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Sacred Sessions with Jenna Hart. Live from JennaRoseHartman.wixsite.com/Jenna Hartman Psychic Media.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Sacred Sessions
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello and welcome to the first ever Secret Session with Jenna Hartman Psychic Medium. I'm Jenna. Nice to meet you. I hope that you're well wherever you are. I know that it's evening in New York, so I hope you've had a wonderful day. And here in Sydney, Australia, it's actually Wednesday morning early. My name is Jenna Hartman, and I'm pretty good at poker, but I don't think I'm that good. But I do come from a very full house. I am a psychic medium. Sacred sessions, realistically, for me, would be a lovely way that we can connect on a soul level and have some time to connect and kind of check in with each other as well as check in with spirit, and also kind of get some positivity flowing and some forward thinking for the week ahead, I guess. My name's Jenna. I am a natural medium. I have had my gifts since I was a child. The best thing I remember of my gifts was that I always had prophetic dreams. So even as a child, I remember having dreams, and I'd have these weird kind of out of sequence with life dreams, so they wouldn't really feel like they were connected to my actual life at the time. But usually when I see them, they would show up to be completely on point. Actually, one time I distinctly recall I had a dream that I was in class and, of course, could not keep my mouth shut, which often was the case. And I remember my teacher was very cranky that day, and he actually dragged me up to the front of the class, and I got a ruler, which used to be the thing back in the 80s. Gosh, I'm anyway, and I was mortified. I remember going, oh my goodness, I don't want that to happen. And so I was very vigilant for a few days. Now, I would have been back in some line. Anyway, I remember sitting in class, and of course that fateful event took place. And I was at the front of the class getting the big ruler that my teacher used to use to put the lines on the chalkboard. And I remember being so cranky with myself because the day before I was like, remember, this way. So don't get in trouble. So the first thing that came through was my prophetic dreams. And then at the age of 12, I'm going to skip forward because obviously it's a long story. But at the age of 12, I lost my father. And the night I lost my father, he passed away in hospital, and I was not there. And so I got woken up like you do, and you see in movies where someone's sleeping and all of a sudden they're thrown up in bed, and that was me. And I knew my father had passed, and I knew he was on his way to heaven, and I knew he had come to say goodbye. I could not see him, but I felt him. I also felt that physical snap in the stomach area. For those of you who've ever felt that, it kind of feels like the cord is literally cut between you and somebody. You know, that physical cord, or your spiritual bungee jumping cord, as some of you may associate it with. Anyway, so that kicked off my mediumship gift. And let me say to you too, that when I did feel my dad come through, and he was expected to pass, by the way, but I was a child, so I was kept from that. And when he did come through, I did not cry. I did not feel bad. I actually was completely peaceful, and there was so much love, and it was so gorgeous that I literally laid back down within minutes, and I went to sleep and had a restful sleep. And the next morning, woke up and told everyone my dad had passed away, and that kicked off my medium. I've been on my path my whole life, like most of us are. And listen, it doesn't matter if you are born with it or you connect with it eventually. I personally believe we're all born with it. I do believe some children sort of kind of lose it, say about 5, 6, or 7, and then sometimes it will kick back in after puberty. But I had it the whole time, and thank goodness it used to get me out of a lot of stuff when I was a teenager. So fast forward, at the moment, I'm living in Sydney, Australia. I have been working as a medium for some time, for at least the last 7, 8 years, but I've actually been working for the last 12. I have 5 children at home. I am with my childhood sweetheart, who we have been married for 27 years. Yes, that is young. But a lot of beautiful stuff's been happening, and especially this year. And I know that sounds strange considering the way things are around the world. But I've actually found, for me, um, it's kind of made me reassess my life and my journey, what's working and what's not. I'm actually really fortunate to be here with you all today. It's an amazing thing, and I cannot wait to spend our sessions together. I was just published in a spiritual magazine called Shine Your Light, that is from New Zealand, the UK, and Australia. But anyway, enough of me. I don't want to talk about me. I want to connect with you. So at the moment, we're going to connect with Megan, and Megan's from Masterton, New Zealand. So Megan, come on down, neighbour. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great, sweetheart. And how can I help you this morning?
I just like, I don't know, I suppose just a bit of oh, like just insight. I'm currently going through a spiritual path of my own, which is kind of scary because it's like things are happening that I can't explain, and I feel things I can't explain, and like I feel like I need to know more, and there's more to know, but I'm not sure if reaching what I'm trying to figure out, because I still haven't quite figured that out yet.
And that's fine, Megan.
If that makes sense.
Day 100%. But what I can tell you is, the messages I'm getting for you, sweetheart, is that you actually have some beautiful teachers coming from where you're at, from your location. I want to say there's a possible 2. I want to also say that the month of October comes through as significant. And I also want to say to you that I feel like this is something, as I said in the beginning of this segment, that this is a natural ability of yours. So whether you do remember having this as a little kid, or you saw things maybe as a child, or you were just a sensitive kid that picked up energy, I don't actually feel like this is the beginning of the journey. I feel like that your journey was just on hold, and you're now back to that path, and you're going to start again from that destination. So, sweetheart, I feel like with most of the shit that's going on in the universe right now, a lot of us are awakening.
What was it? Sorry, what was that? Sorry?
I said that with the energy that we're all going through right now, a lot of awakening. And I feel like that's where you are too. I also want to say that I feel like the older lady in spirit, that would have been the grandmother, is definitely around you. And she wants to know that she's supporting you and loving you. She's trying to say, please don't be afraid, that everything is okay and fine, and that nothing can actually hurt you or disturb you. It may come through a bit as a fear because it may be something you're not completely connected to or familiar with right now, honey. But that does not mean anything negative, bad, or not proceeding as it naturally should. I do believe, as I said, that there will be a flyer, I believe, that you will see around your town, around where you live, and it will be of a group or a meditation group, something like that. And I feel like that may be the connection of where you find this next handout in your journey. There's teachers coming for you, sweetheart. There's more to be developed here. And I actually want to encourage you to start to meditate, look after yourself, body, mind, and spirit, more water, more rest, all that sort of thing. Please just remember that nothing can ever hurt you, and that you are always in control.
Are you able to tell me if there's possibly any messages from anyone from like the other side and who they're from?
Yes, as I said to you, sweetheart, I felt that there was a grandmother figure that came through. She came through very feminine. I'm not sure. It makes me feel like she was connected to your mother's side of the family, only because of the femininity. She comes through very maternal. I get a lot of yellow and I get an apron around her. So she makes me feel like she was either a very homebody, a big cook, that sort of thing. I feel like there's an N connection. So I don't know if that's for her family, more so, because I didn't feel it was for her. But she wants you to
what connection, sorry?
There's an N, letter N, or like Nellie, Nathan, Natalie, an N, and she wants to say to you that she's very much around you, she's loving you, and she wants you to look out for the signs. So she's talking butterflies and birds and feathers. So she will give you signs to let you know she's around. Listen, darling, thank you so much for calling through, Megan. We're going to have to leave it there for now, sweetheart. But thank you so much. Wow, it's gone quick. I would love to be able to read the world realistically, but my aim is to literally help heal those that, one step at a time and one reading at a time, one connection at a time. Sacred sessions with me will be very down to earth, very natural, very easy to explain and to understand. And that's what I'm hoping, to connect everyone to their power, to their peace, and to their path. And I hope that you've enjoyed my little secret session for Danahan and Psychic Medium, and I hope that you can join me next week. And I hope that maybe you're the one I read next week. So thank you for joining me.
Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome. Time for the Ask Rebecca radio show with Rebecca Russo. Live from AskRebecca.guru. Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv. This is the Ask Rebecca radio show on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks for joining me. I hope everyone is doing well and working through the emotional roller coaster ride of 2020 as best you can. So much is happening and so quickly, it's nearly impossible to catch our breath. We're just getting hit one thing after another. And, I know I mentioned many times before, this is just the beginning of major changes for humanity as a whole. And light must be shown on the darkest areas of humanity in order for real change to happen. My best advice to you is be the change you wish to see in the world, right? I mean, because again, we are energetic beings. Everything that we put our energy and focus on is what we attract and create. So fighting hate with hate is not a solution. It just creates more of the same. Instead of doing the moment of Zen this week, I'd like to take a moment of silence and prayer for all of humanity, Mr. Floyd, his family, and everybody that's just going through the ringer right now. I think we could all just use a moment of silence and a moment of prayer. So let's just take that moment really quickly. And I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to kind of just send some energy out there and also commune with God and just allow that love to pour over me and humanity. And I hope that you do the same and we can raise the vibration for everybody. All right. On a lighter note, as you know, I took last week off so that I could spend some time with my family and friends. I had some girlfriends coming into town, my bridesmaids, and then my bridesmaids that were here. We went wedding dress shopping, and I found my dress, so I'm super, super happy, and I'm so excited. I can't wait to show it off next year at my wedding. And I just want to give a shout out to my amazing soon-to-be mother-in-law. She actually purchased the dress for me as a gift for my mother since my mom passed away in 2015. And, that just melted my heart. I'm so appreciative and so grateful for her to do that for me. I'm just so happy. There was a lot of tears shed, a lot of crying with a lot of joy. And I want to give a shout out to all of my bridesmaids. I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming and spending your Memorial Day weekend with me. I appreciate it. I love you guys. And I cannot wait until the Bachelorette weekend in Mexico. I'm already ready to party, so I can't wait. But thank you all for your love and support. All right, enough about me. Let's get into what you can expect for the month of June. And for the week ahead from today, June 2nd through to June 9th as an overall theme, and then areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. All right, general themes. We are officially in the month of June, and with it comes 2 eclipses, one full moon lunar eclipse on June 5th, which is literally right around the corner, and the new moon solar eclipse on June 21st. We have more Venus retrograde energies until it goes direct around June 24th, 25th. Now, on top of it this month, we've got Mercury retrograde around June 17th and the 18th. Then we have Neptune retrograde around June 22nd and the 23rd. And then we have the second Jupiter-Pluto conjunction around June 30th. And we entered a new galactic moon cycle on May 30th. So, whoa, there is going to be a ton of energy this month. It is going to be intense. So let me go over the new galactic moon cycle that started on May 30th and it ends on June 26th. And I'm going to read it to you because I just feel like it's kind of fitting about what's happening here. It really is about dedication and the universe and cooperation and equality. And so this moon is called the crystal moon of cooperation. This is the galactic calendar. And it represents tone 12. And it says 12 represents the maximum evolution of form, its attainment of complete complexity. Having dissolved rigidity in tone 11, the crystal tone presents a higher order of coordination, offering complex stability, creative cohesion, and comprehensive vision. Here, we perceive the coherency of the whole as a composition of related parts, honoring the elaborate inner workings of life as a Mandelic synthesis. You guys might have to look up some of these words because I know I did. Crystal tone asks us to universalize, to translate our knowledge and insights that they may be universally applicable, relevant, and shareable with all, assisting the elevation of the common good. Tone 12 affirms that we ourselves embody the highest qualities of internal and social architecture. Like a crystal with its unique facets that contribute to the totality of its beauty, so Tone 12 reminds us to honor and celebrate the diverse features and contributions of individuals which constitute the power of a strong, interdependent community. Tone 12 offers the recognition that in a healthy, whole system, the needs of the individual are met by the collective, and in return, the individual feeds the aspirations of the collective. May we strive to collaborate with one another, combining our gifts and enhancing our efforts while remaining clear and lucid in the grace of our autonomy. Every 13 days around the world, groups of natural time trackers meet regularly on crystal days to share their accounts of completed adventures and to determine new adventures to undertake. These gatherings, known as roundtables or courts of the kin, are specifically held on crystal days because Tone 12 models cooperation. These circles exhibit the cohering power of acknowledging all participants as carrying equal right and responsibility while organized around a central unifying focus. All are universally welcome to contribute their personal energy in dedication to the constructive functioning of the whole. Crystal declares every being has a place in the formation. Our individual efforts of perseverance and commitment are invaluable. As we work in concert with one another, a powerful synergy emerges, a crystalline configuration which equals more than the sum of its parts. May we each experience ourselves as integral components of a network of divine creativity. Every individual is a detail of the whole pattern. So what affects one affects all. We are a community. We are unity, and we need to behave united with everything that's going on in the world. Okay, let's keep going because that was a little long-winded. This month is going to affect everyone differently based on your perception, your disposition, and the day and time that you were born. The basic theme is going to revolve around balancing your thoughts with your feelings and connecting your feelings to your thoughts. These two aspects are what create your life experiences. So if you aren't aware of what you're thinking and feeling or understand your motivations behind the choices that you make, you are going to constantly be triggered, creating more drama and more suffering in your own life. So this month gives you the opportunity to become aware and master your thoughts, which generate what you feel and gives power to what you attract into your life. This is an extremely potent month for you, and your attention will be brought to the areas of your life that need changing. So let this empower you instead of scare you. Let it be a positive thing. You more than likely will be experiencing or re-experiencing things that you dealt with over the last 2 years, especially if you haven't gotten closure or healed parts of yourself or learned the lessons that you needed to. So seize the opportunity to heal, or you'll be dealing with the same old for longer than what you want. And that will be another eclipse cycle. So the last 2 years is the previous eclipse cycle. So you really want to bring closure to your junk. Otherwise, you're going to be dealing with it for more. For longer. This month, you'll do well if you allow yourself to feel what you need, trust your intuition, and proactively face your negative patterns of behavior. This is not a month to force anything. It's a month to transform all the parts of yourself that you don't like. It's a time to let go of toxic people who only create drama, use you, abuse you, drain you, and just are creating chaos, or they're not contributing any value. You've learned all that you need. You vibrationally are no longer a match with these people. So let them go. Let them leave your life. And the other part of this month is for you to just be, right? Just be. You'll know when you need to take action. The universe is lining everything up in the cosmos to allow the greatest potentials for your highest good during this time. Now, this week, there could be higher levels of tension and frustration, which we're already seeing play out on the world stage. It's not the best time to make decisions if you are feeling this way. Things more than likely won't work out the way you hoped if you come at this with the energy of tension and frustration. Thanks to energies of Mercury retrograde already at play, you may experience delays and change of plans as well. Which will only create more tension and frustration. So we can also see more global interactions and new policies coming about during this time. Lots of conflict between thoughts and emotions, which could create drama in your life. And on a global scale, more rioting and looting, or a completely new emotional upheaval could hit us as well. During eclipse time, all kinds of craziness can happen. There's also a possibility of earth changes in the form of earthquakes and weather. Again, there's an energy of balancing thoughts and emotions to understand how they are linked and how they affect you. You'll also be juggling the mundane things in life, like eating right, exercising, sleep, organizing, relationships, partnerships, friendships, both in business and pleasure. It's all about give and take. Keep your eye on the prize by remaining positive and solution-oriented, not problem-oriented. It's a time of change, and this week you begin to see more of the areas of your life that you want change in, and the areas in your life that actually need to be changed. So these changes are all positive, even if they come on the heels of turmoil and challenges. Work, for those of you employed, some of you going back to work may struggle with getting back into the swing of things, or you're having realizations around the fact that you're no longer fulfilled, and maybe you decide to quit. And I would say just make sure your thoughts and feelings are in alignment before doing so. Otherwise, I feel like things could backfire on you. Others will be very happy to be back at work, and many will experience positive changes in policies and procedures. And some of you are going to have some out-of-this-world ideas that are really out-of-the-box thinking that are well-received and give you a boost in your career, in your business, and all your endeavors. Those of you that are looking for work, I am feeling new jobs, I'm feeling old jobs, and I'm feeling new beginnings. So really hit the pavement, online, whatever, get yourself out there. Love, those of you in committed relationships and dating seriously, it feels like a good week in love for many. You find a sweet groove with your partner and things just feel equal, balanced, and good, joyous, happy. So I feel a lot of positive energy for a lot of people. Some of you, though, on the other spectrum, you could be struggling with judgment and criticism, both giving and receiving. And then lastly, some of you will be evaluating your relationship and taking action at a later date. So again, this is still some of that Venus retrograde energy. Proper communication is key. Plus getting clear about what you really want and getting clear about your own hangups, right? Your own negative behaviors, your own insecurities, your own traumas, and the things that are contributing to some self-sabotaging behavior that you might be experiencing in your own relationship, and that baggage is what you may have attracted to you to be healed, right? So you could be with a person that you're meant to work through your baggage with and then move on, and you're mistaking that as, oh, I got to stay here and suffer. No, move on if it's time. Those of you looking for love, love is in the air, but it's more about learning and growing. So I feel some connections that end up being lasting, but for the most part, I feel like there's more healing and growing to do before a real connection can happen. So get out there and have some fun getting to know yourself through dating others. Really, it's about, getting to know your baggage, and you're going to get to know that by who you attract into your life. They are a mirror reflection of you. So the same crap you don't like in them is the same stuff you do yourself, or the same things you do in a different way. Finances, money is starting to flow again. So I do feel like many will be getting back to some financial normalcy, especially if you've been struggling. I do feel some will experience the opposite and have a drop in income. Either way, what's happening is a more balanced state of money coming in and money going out. Health, the main theme really is nurturing body, mind, spirit, and you looking at, are you nurturing all three, or are you neglecting certain parts of yourself? And if you're not nurturing all three, now's the time, and you could see some symptomatic flare-ups if you're not looking at these areas, and you're not loving yourself, and you're not nurturing yourself, and you're not taking care of yourself. And then I feel like some of you will be resisting change, and that resistance against change is actually going to create inflammation and stress in your body, which I feel like we may see an increase in heart disease, diabetes, and strokes around the area, whether directly in your family, you yourself, or other people. So I feel like there could be some flare-ups in that. Spirituality, I do feel many will be taking time and space for themselves. Some will begin a spiritual partnership with someone. This is an important ingredient to having spiritually successful relationships with others and yourself. And many will be facing past traumas to be healed surrounding victimhood. Victim consciousness is going to be brought into the forefront of your mind, especially if you still have emotional reactions and become triggered easily, if you're experiencing a lot of fear, if you're escaping through drugs and alcohol, if you're not taking responsibility for your choices and experiences in your life, if you are isolating yourself and pushing people away, if you're attacking and blaming, if you make excuses, defend, justify, or judge, if you're feeling sorry for yourself, if you're projecting, if you think you're better than others, or you're comparing yourself to others, those are all signs of victim consciousness. So look at these things and get help if you need that. If you're not able to see it for yourself, ask people that you know and love, or ask someone, a counselor or someone like myself. And lastly, many will be learning to go with the flow and experiencing a shift in your soul, and a deepening of joy and calm will come over you. So lots of positive aspects by tackling those issues. That wraps up the intuitive messages. Let me get to my caller. I have Tabitha in Lancaster, California. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How can I help you today?
I just wanted to see if any of my loved ones come over.
Is there anybody specific that you want to maybe call in?
My cousin Merle.
Earl or Merle?
Merle. M-E-R-E. M-E-R-L-E. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I want to make sure I have the right person. I would say, I feel like medium height, blondish, brownish hair.
No. That sounds like my grandpa.
That sounds like your grandpa?
I think, yeah, I kind of. Merle's dark skinned. He's half black, half white. And he has dark hair.
Okay, so yeah, no, this is not your cousin then. This is somebody else that is connected to you that's coming through because this has more of like a blondish, brownish color type hair. Okay, so let me ask you this. Did Merle wear a lot of t-shirts? Like I just feel like a connection to like white t-shirts.
That's my grandfather.
Oh my gosh, I don't think we're going to get to talk to Merle. I think we're going to be talking to your grandpa.
Yeah, my grandfather white t-shirt boy.
Oh my gosh, he's just talking about his white t-shirts and super comfortable, and everybody would, I feel like he's saying like you guys would make fun of him a little bit or joke about it, or it was a little bit of a running kind of joke that he just basically wore white t-shirts, and I feel like he wore always had long pants on.
Yep.
Yeah, always long pants. Let me see if he's got any specific messages or questions for messages for you. Okay, so your grandfather, because I feel like he's mentioning Merle. But I don't feel like he was Merle's grandfather either.
No.
No, right? But he knew Merle.
No. Because my grandpa died before Merle.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Hold on, let me sort out because I feel like he's referencing somebody that is around the same age as Merle, like also a family member. Do you have, I don't know if it's another cousin or a sibling, but I feel like it's a masculine energy that he is talking about, and he's concerned about.
My ex-boyfriend. That's Merle's cousin.
Ah, okay, that's the connection to Merle. Okay, so he's concerned about, is he in trouble? Because I feel like he's making me feel like he's running in some circles that maybe Merle ran into, and
yeah, the drinking.
Okay. So, and what he's saying is, so he's concerned about him, but this directly ties into you, and he's saying you got to get away from guys like that. He doesn't want you following down the same path. Does that make sense to you? So he's concerned about that. Okay. Yeah, he's just, he wants you to, redirect your energy, and he's saying like you're holding on too tightly to certain people that are not, it's not healthy for you anymore. And he's also saying that you have a lot of anxiety and fear that you deal with. And maybe sometimes that anxiety and fear is directly tied to you feeling like you I feel like it's tied to your security. Like you just feel, you're not feeling secure, like you're not feeling abundant or having like your financial situation. So I feel like he's saying you've got a lot of stress and anxiety around that.
Yeah.
Now he's also saying you've got a lot of fear around love too.
Yeah.
I feel like he's making a joke about you spent time with him when he was younger, or when you were younger, right? Like, because I kind of feel like what he's saying is he's making a joke about maybe he wasn't the best role model when it came to love, right? Like showing you the best version of a male relationship, I guess. So he's kind of making a joke like you picked up. Yeah, he's saying you picked up some of his bad habits and you picked up some of his good habits. Is basically what he's saying. He's just saying that he really wants you to step outside of your comfort zone and work on letting yourself love, like to receive love, because he's saying you block it, right? You're kind of hard on yourself. He says you beat yourself up a lot, and it breaks his heart because there's a part of him that feels like it's tied to the family dynamic, that he basically is just saying like they could have all been a better version of grandparent, better version of mom, better version of dad, and to really, have you love yourself more, I think is where he's trying to go with this. So he's being really mushy right now, and he's saying he was never like this.
It's Merle. That's Merle
So now
talking.
we're talking to Merle.
Yeah, both of them going back and forth.
Oh my God, they're messing with me. But they both love you, and I'm so sorry, but I do have to go, Tabitha. I'm out of time. I'm sending you lots of love. Everybody else, I'll see you next week. Bye.
to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for Insights into Consciousness with Anna Olson. Live from AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Insights into Consciousness
On A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hi, I'm Anna Olson. I'm your host tonight on this segment on A1R Radio tonight. Insights into Consciousness with Anna Olson. I'm going to just go into some readings. First thing tonight, I just wanted to drop a couple of lines about some things that have been interesting to me lately, and that is just that we're having published works of and writings of these books that have pretty much told the world that in 2020 that the COVID was going to come in. It didn't say COVID specifically, but they did say a virus that's similar to pneumonia, and we've had these pictures passed around. So, I really like that in this day and age we have social media where people can really share what they see as interesting rather than leaving it all up to CNN, Fox News, NBC. As great as it is to get news from all sources, I really like that people can just take a picture of a book they have and post it everywhere, and it can be spread around the world 3 times around. So that's been happening, and I'm really excited about that. And I really love that these psychics, whatever you want to call them, intuitives, people who have a good message from spirit are being able to spread the message that people need to know. These are the important things, the spiritual things that everybody else seems to leave out. So, I'm just really happy about that. So we have known, a lot of people have known that this was going to come for a long time. There are people who have been preparing because they listened to intuitives. They listened to psychics. They knew that in 2020 we were going to have a pandemic, that we were going to need to stock up on things that we need, that we were going to, a lot of people bought seeds and all sorts of really great things that will help prepare them. I don't know if they stocked up on toilet paper, we'll see. But by any means, I'm just really happy that people can be prepared that way, and that intuitives and readers are getting the credit they deserve. And I just read in an article online that, from a very reputable source, a reputable big newspaper. Was it the New York Post? I'm not 100% on that source, but I know that it was about how mediums are the new life coaches, the new therapists. Now, of course, if you have a mental illness of some sort, or like a depression or anxiety or something like that, you do need your specialist that will help you with, the medical treatment on that. But really, mediums are coming out as the new big coaches. So, I'm really happy to see these things coming about, and that people are really adding spirituality to their treatment and to what they need. It's been a great experience for a lot of people, and I have noticed that there's a lot of healing that goes on when I do a medium reading for people, and they are grieving, and they've done all their work with their therapist, with their psychologist. They have worked with a psychiatrist or whatnot to get to where they need emotionally that way, and with their brain chemistry, and then they can come to me and we can work together to really close some doors that are still open to them, that they're grieving with, and that they're really experiencing a lot of grief. So, it's been a great learning experience for me, and I'm happy that as a medium I can really help them close those ties and speak to their loved ones and get the information that they need to really feel like now they can just complete that grieving process. So that's been something that I've been really happy about, happy to do with people. I love to go through this process with people. I know what grief is like. I have experienced it. And for those who are grieving, I just, want to send a message out there that things do get better, that grief is hard. It is very difficult, but it's one of the most immense learning experiences spiritually and mentally that we can experience in this life, and that it is a great experience to be able to go through the process, especially when you're really dealing with it. Now, I'd always warn people against any sort of trying to self-medicate when they're grieving. When I hear that somebody starts drinking or they start trying to, medicate themselves in different ways that we know is going to exacerbate that depression issue. We know that alcohol is a depressant. We know that if somebody's depressed, they should not actually be drinking because that is a depressant. So, really, I feel like it's good for people to know there are other modalities. They don't have to talk a lot about it. They can sit down and say nothing, and we can do a reading, and that will help. So Carly in Vancouver, Washington, I have her on the line now, and I'd love to do a reading for Carol. Carol. Carol, are you on the line?
I am.
Hi, how are you tonight?
I'm fine. How about you?
Doing great.
Okay.
So what would you like to focus on tonight? Is there a specific question?
A loved one that passed away.
Okay. When did they pass?
Pardon me?
When did they pass?
March 16th.
Okay, so this year, March 16th?
Uh-huh.
Well, that was pretty recent, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing, I'm getting a mail presence.
Yes.
And, it's interesting because I feel like it's, the interesting thing is that I feel like it's a son, but I'm not exactly sure on son.
Yeah, he's my grandson.
Okay. So did you raise him most of the time, or were you really close to him?
Yes, I partially raised him.
Okay. So that's why I'm getting son, but it wasn't all, that's where we're kind of getting that kind of hazy description of son. But the first thing that I'm seeing is that he was working really hard when he passed on a lot of things that he'd been dealing with for a long time. And I see some heartbreak in his past. I'm wondering, did he suffer from depression? Or, it just seems like he was working so hard. And I'm getting that. Now, this is what's good about this transition into the spirit world for your grandson, is that I really do feel like it was the right timing, and that he did the work he needed to do before he passed. It may, anytime that we have somebody in our family who's younger than us pass, it feels very wrong. It feels unfair. It feels like it should not happen that way. But I do feel that he fulfilled his life contract.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm seeing heartbreak. I'm seeing heartbreak before he passed.
Yeah.
And so I'm wondering, did he see? I keep seeing like a substance in the body that affected his body. Maybe like what would be like considered maybe painkiller, opioid, something that would cause him to feel kind of sleepy or And so was it an issue with the way that he was trying to deal with his depression or his heartbreak? Was he trying to self-medicate, or is it perhaps like an overdose?
No, it wasn't an overdose, but he was, drinking a lot and smoking pot, and he actually was murdered.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes.
Oh, so sorry for your loss. It seems like, that's a very personal thing. So I did kind of get that may have happened, and I always let the person let me know. Now, did he have a relationship with somebody? Was he in a relationship when he passed?
He was in a relationship, yes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that there's a lot of heartbreak there, but that there may be some things that that she may know about what happened. Was she there, or was she?
No, she wasn't there. They had called her, and she went there after he was pronounced dead.
Okay, because I feel her presence there, and I really feel like she's really suffering a lot over this, and that the connection with her. Are you close to her?
Yes.
Because I feel like that connection to her is going to help everybody grieve, that she can really be part of the family and be almost like a new part of your family now, because she's going to really need a lot of the support. And then you guys, you and the family can really accept a lot of insight from her on the death, or before, before he passed. So I do feel like I see that his cup was full. So when I see that his cup is full, I'm seeing that he did everything actually that he needed to do before he died. So he knew his time was coming. I don't know if he had an idea that this person was wanting to harm him, or if he had some kind of premonition, but I feel like he closed those doors that he may have had open, where we talk about feeling loose ends. He tied up those loose ends before he passed, because I feel like he knew he was going to pass. When people are nearing their contractual death date, they know it inside. They know it deep down. And I believe that he did some things before he died to close those things up. Are you aware of any of those things? Did he call you? Did you have conversations with him about this?
No, I wouldn't, but I'm sure his girlfriend would. Yeah.
It may be helpful for you guys to ask her, because I feel like she's still in shock. She's not talking a lot about it right now, but when she's ready, the more that she can talk about it and start to verbalize what she experienced before he passed, the more you can learn from her and get more information about his readiness and some of the things, the way he was behaving beforehand. And I think that'll be very healing, because he was aware, and I think it's very comforting for loved ones to know that that these things sometimes are planned, and that there are times where they really are ready, and that you'll see signs of them around. So, did he have a tattoo?
He did, yeah.
Was it like a cross or something?
I don't know if he had a tattoo cross, but he had one with his little brother's name.
Okay. Because I'm seeing that something within the tattoo and the sign of the cross is going to be how he communicates with you and your family. So when you see, either the cross, the sign of the cross, or the tattoo design that he had, that's going to be you guys knowing that he's with you. Like, let's say at family events, or when you go out in nature, when you're thinking of him, these things, this is going to come through, and he's going to be there with you. And that's how he's going to let you know he's around.
Yeah.
You can look for that. And that's his sign to you that he's with you. He's watching out for you guys still. You can talk to him anytime you want. And he is, what's really interesting is that I'm seeing him being a very powerful person.
Yeah.
It's like his heart is very powerful. Like, he would really give you wisdom if you were having a rough time. It's almost like he usually didn't say a whole lot about it, but when you're having a rough time or something, he would have such amazing insight and power in his messages and the way that his intention will come through.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Does he
Yes.
say anything about being with family members?
Really, just that he's there with everybody in the family while they're grieving. That he's observing. He knows that you're hurting. He is praying for you guys. He is there by you, comforting you. And when you start looking for those signs, you'll see it as proof and confirmation. Because I feel like people really need that proof.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's what will come through and let you know that he's there.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome. I'm so sorry for your loss. And, you know, if you need anything else or you want to extend the reading, you can always reach me at my contact. Info's on my website. It's AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com, and it's at the bottom of the screen. But I thank you so much for calling in, and I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Have a wonderful night.
You too.
Thank you. So next I have Raven from Little Rock, Arizona. Raven, how are you tonight? Hi, Raven. We're going to get her back on the line. I think we lost contact with her. Sometimes cell phones drop out. Right now I'm pulling Raven's cards. Hopefully we can get her back. And so far, it's really interesting because I have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is depicting somebody in a bind or basically bound into a predicament, or they're not able to see very clearly what's going on. It's kind of hard to see in this light with the glare, but there's basically a girl in a dress, and she has a blindfold on, and she has her hands tied behind her back, and she's bound behind basically like a wall of swords. There's a bunch of swords surrounding her. So that's the first part that I have for her. And then we also have the Fool here. So we're working on getting her back on the line. First thing I want to go into with the Eight of Swords is that it has quite a few meanings. So first of all, usually, at least for this reading, what I'm getting, if Raven's listening, is that the Eight of Swords is a card that will depict, it could be many things, but for her reading, I'm feeling like it is indecisiveness. Can't really see which way to go at the moment, needs a little direction, kind of stuck in a situation. Sometimes you see this with people who are stuck in a marriage, financially bound, in debt, or sometimes you'll see this within people who have a loss of power, people in prison or who have been in prison for some time. And when they get out of prison, they're not really able to know how to start over again, or they tend to basically have a whole lot of issue moving on. Well, it looks like we have Tiffany in St. Paul, Minnesota. I guess we lost Raven, unfortunately. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. How would you like to start your reading tonight? Do you have a question or a topic?
Well, I don't know. Not specifically, I guess. I'm just kind of wondering what my next step is. I'm not sure what I should be doing in general.
Right. Okay. That's interesting because before we got you on the line, we had unfortunately had a drop caller, but I had been I pulled the Eight of Swords, and I'd been just talking about indecisiveness for the next person on the line. This is how spirit works. So I got an indecisive and not quite sure what to do next. So did you say this was for career or just in general?
Just in general, in life. You know,
okay. Yeah, so the Eight of Swords depicts somebody who's blindfold. They're not sure where to step, where to go, what the next move is. They're bound a little bit. So the goal in the reading now would be to get you unstuck. And we have the Fool that came up next. So I was just showing, the card that depicts the Fool, where you're a little more. I see the way I'm feeling this coming through is the Fool is depicting being more fly by the seat of your pants, make more sacrifices, kind of like not be so reserved in your decisions or afraid. So it would be more about really branching out and taking some risks.
Okay.
And that's what I'm getting for your reading. So this would really, I'm feeling more like this is career for you. Is this making sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. And I feel like there's even someone who I'm getting the High Priest now with the cards, and I really feel that there is somebody who could guide you into a new career or a career change of some sort, or just even staying where you are, but being able to be promoted.
Okay.
So there would be a man who would be able to assist you in that and give you some counsel on that. And it's just about coming forward and asking, or really considering your options a little more, and then making some more moves. And that's what I'm getting there. Do you have any questions so far?
No, not really. Because I was really thinking about going back to school, and like that would change everything, for like what I do now. Well, I'm laid off right now, but I'll be going back to work soon, hopefully. But I've been tossing the idea of going back to school around, and I just maybe I should just take that chance.
Yeah, that's what I was getting with the counsel from this person. I'm getting that very well could have been, education, continuing your education, going forward, in a new area of your career or a new career altogether. So that would absolutely fit into what this is saying here. And so then the next option would just be, okay, what would you go into? How long would you be able to go to school? And if you wanted to further your education, what major would you go into? So I'm really feeling like you're drawn towards the life sciences and serving people, caring for people.
Yeah.
Do you have experience in that now?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you have experience in that right now?
Well, I did a lot of customer service and stuff like that, and I have a couple close friends that do have some nice nonprofits that serve the community. So, a little bit.
Yeah, I really think that you could go into something that serves others, takes care of people who need, a little extra help, or, like maybe even like rehabilitating people in some way.
Okay.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because I'm also kind of getting a little bit of your relationship. I feel a lot of indecisiveness, like you're just not sure where to go next.
Yeah.
So there's relationship, and then I even see location. Were you thinking about moving?
No, actually.
Okay, because I feel that might be an option that would help you right now to relocate.
That actually makes sense. Yeah, I wasn't thinking about it, but I mean, it does make sense.
Yeah, and that's why we do this. We kind of bring up things that will, really help you to start thinking a little more along the lines of the right path. And here we go a little bit more with the taking a risk and, and moving a little bit bigger moves, where it's really going to make a difference in your life. Yeah. So that's the main focus, I think, for your reading today is just, really doing things that are a little more risky, little scary at first, a lot more work at first, but they're going to yield a big return once you get there.
Okay. Yeah, and I've been real cautious as of lately, so I should probably step out of my little comfort zone.
That's right. Yeah, stepping out of that comfort zone makes the biggest moves. And then you have a new comfort zone where you're so much happier.
Yeah.
And really, that's what I want to see you do now. I'm just going to ask you a kind of a personal question, and I'm sorry if it's too personal, but it's coming up in the reading, and that is, have you ever had like an addiction issue or anything like alcohol or anything like that you've dealt with?
My dad was an alcoholic, and I've been drinking a lot more lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that would kind of make some sense. I've been drinking more than I usually do, for sure.
Okay. Now, with no judgment totally aside, I'm just seeing that that's basically something that's going to sort of stop you from making more progress. And it's kind of, it's just kind of what people do when they're bored, or they're just like, what do I do next? And they kind of start resorting to those habits to, like, just it's sort of like a way to pass the time, and it's a way to people socialize. But and a lot more. So I hope you have a great night, and if you need anything else, let me know.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hey, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye. So tonight, it's interesting because I didn't know I was going to get a call to do a medium reading, and we had, this really emotional medium reading for a grandmother who had lost her grandson, who was also very close to her, who she raised just like a son. And, I just love how spirit works. Spirit can tell anybody in their intuition what's happening, what's going to be the next step. And I just urge everybody to tap into that. You can pray and figure out or meditate, however you do it, how you best to kind of really tap into your own intuition, use your own discernment to move forward. So again, AnnaOlsonIntuitive.com is my website. I'd love for you to reach me if you'd like more information. I'm also on Facebook at Anna Olson Intuitive. Your best bet is my website, but I do check both. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. I'm here every week, Thursdays, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time and 9:30 Eastern Standard Time here on A1R. I'm Anna Olson, Insights into Consciousness. And I thank you so much, and I will see you later.
Listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Guidance with Glennis. With Glennis Hewitt. Live from the tranquilroom.com.au.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page. Facebook.com/Psychic Radio. Or one of our websites. AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Guidance with Glennis
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Hello everyone, Glennis Ewing here at the Tranquil Room in Australia. Oh, what a week it's been. It's been, I feel that everyone would be feeling this huge strawberry moon that we're in Australia, we're experiencing it tonight, and it's it's bringing in a lot of renewal, new beginnings for a lot of things, and closure to a lot of things also. So, we're slowly coming out of COVID, and things are opening up a bit more. So it's quite ironic that we've got such a magnificent moon happening tonight. In America, I think it'll be tomorrow night. I think that's how it works. So I'm really looking forward to new beginnings and, finalising a few things and just projecting forward. And I would encourage everyone to be really starting to set their goals on what it is that they want for the next year, for the next 2 years, and so forth. It's a great time, especially with this moon. It is quite a condensed moon. So now is our absolute time to release things, but also to be truly setting our goals. We always release on a full moon, and just really focus on releasing what no longer serves you. For me personally, there's big changes with me over the next 4 weeks, and I will share this a little later, in the next few shows. It's interesting times ahead for everyone at the moment. Now, before we go any further, I want to let you all know that I had Beth Elaine Haynes talking as a guest a couple of weeks ago, and she was so well received that I've actually got Beth coming again next week. So that'll be Friday, June the 12th. Beth will be our like my guest. And we're going to be talking about our chakras. Excuse me. So when you're a psychic, you need to make sure that your chakras are fully balanced, because if they're congested, you're not going to get a full balanced knowing. So for me, before I do any readings or before I come onto this show, I actually sit in absolute peace and quietness, and I do a very quiet chakra meditation. So I balance everything up so that I know and clear. It's really important to clear. So what I would be suggesting is that for all psychics out there, for all light workers out there, is before you work with anyone, always make sure that you are balanced and cleansed, and and grounded and protected as well. But the chakras are a really beautiful way to really focus on your absolute aura. And it just means that when you're working in your pure state, that the most beautiful messages are going to come through. The clarity is going to be very, very clear. So I would be highly recommending that. So Beth will be with us next week, and we're going to be going more in depth in regard to that, and also the chakras that are relatable to the world. There's certain places in this world, and I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there are certain places in this world that's chakra. I know the base chakra, I believe, is at Uluru in Australia, which is right in the centre of Australia. Used to be called Ayers Rock, but man, when you go there, it is phenomenal. And I would be recommending anyone that is listening to this to absolutely do yourself a favour and put it on your bucket list, because it just transcends you into a whole different world, just the energy around that place. I was there a few years ago, and man, it was so powerful, so powerful. So I'd be highly recommending that. Just a recap on that Beth Elaine Haynes will be joining us again next week as my guest, and we're going to be talking about the importance of chakras and what they do for you, and how, as a light worker, we really need to be working on our own personal chakras before we work with any clients. So it's incredible times. There is so much unrest in the world at the moment, and I feel that if everyone could just take a deep breath and rebalance and re-cleanse everything, and ground ourselves, that, it would bring a whole calmness. There's so much unrest at the moment, and it's more, I feel it's being really generated by people that have their own political agenda, and we need to be very aware of that. Okay. Alrighty. So, just looking forward to next week. It's going to be exciting times. So we actually have Leah from Geneva in Iowa, in Ohio. Hi, Leah. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks, Dale. How can I help you today?
Well, I was hoping to get a reading, possibly hear from my fiance that had passed over mediumship. I don't know if that's
Okay. What was your fiance's name?
full name.
Full name?
I'm sorry. John Thornton.
Oh, John. Sorry. Okay.
John Thornton.
Thank you. Can you just take a deep breath in for me, Leah, please?
Mhm.
As soon as you mentioned John's name, I got this really sick feeling within my stomach. Oh, wow. Leah, what I'm feeling straight up is that once John closed his eyes for the very last time, or took his last breath, I actually feel that there was he was actually able to finally let go. I feel that he was struggling in regard to something that was quite significant. Oh God, I feel like he kept on bashing his head against a brick wall. So I feel that his passing, for him, not so much for you, but for him, it was actually a blessing in disguise. He's very much around you, and Leah, I'm actually feeling that he's around you, but do you have a child?
I'm sorry, did you ask if either of us have a child?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, we have one together, and then I have a child that he also considered his.
Yeah, because I actually feel that in spirit, he's very much around the children, very much so. And I feel that there's one of them is actually, it's like, I feel that one of your children keep pulling on their ear, and it's like they're feeling that someone's there. It's actually John. He's very much around them. Is there a son?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very much around.
Is there a what? I'm sorry.
Do you have a son, a male?
I'm sorry, I'm kind of having like a bad connection.
Yeah, I'm just feeling if there is a son, that John is very much around.
Yeah, him and I have a son.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
very much with the son. And I'm also being shown, Leah, are you a reader? Do you read books in bed?
I used to. I haven't so much. I've actually been doing a lot of online stuff now, getting more into the spiritual since he passed away. I've been trying to get a connection to him, and
he's showing me.
Yeah, I used to be an avid reader.
Yeah, I'm feeling that
I need to read.
Yeah, and I've got a red cover on it. It's quite red, and it's either got gold writing or gold and black writing. But John's actually saying if she reads this, she'll know exactly what path she needs to take.
And you said it's a red book?
I feel it's a red book. I've got a red binder writer or red cover, and it's either got black and gold writing on it or lettering, but I'm also seeing black, so it may be shadowed or underlined in black.
Okay.
Yeah, he's actually saying this is what she needs to read to fully step into your natural calling. So when you're opening up on a spiritual level or a psychic level, some people, it's working out what your strongest clair is, like clairaudient, clairvoyant, and so forth. Some people are phenomenal tarot readers or oracle card readers, So it's just you working out which is your forte. But he's showing me that there is a red book that you need to be reading. He's actually saying that you need to be propped up in bed and turning, like I'm seeing him trying to turn the pages for you. Okay? It's very much around you, very much around you. And what is it with your right foot?
I'm sorry.
He's showing me that he's trying to massage your right foot. Do you have a problem with one of your feet?
No, my son just broke his toe on his right foot, though. 2 nights ago.
Okay, yeah, because I just feel he's trying to massage it and make it feel better. You know, it's like that internal, just that big hug and make it go away sort of thing. So he's very much around that as well. I'm also being shown, Leah, that there's something. Have you got like a shrine to John in your house?
Do I have a what for him? I'm so sorry. The connection keeps breaking up.
Yeah. I'm just seeing that John's showing me that it's almost like if it's your bedside table, you've got a lot of photos of him around, and he's saying it's too chaotic. Just have one photo, and it's almost like by having one photo, you're going to allow him more room to come into your dreams and come into your room. He wants to be able to enter, but it's almost like you've got too much of him in there already. You understand that?
Well, I don't see my room. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry. I am so sorry. My sister was supposed to be watching the children. No, who won't. But yeah, no, I don't have a lot of photos. I've actually been putting like a lot of those healing crystals, and I've actually been reading that a lot of them together or right next to your bedside. Lately, I've been reading that they can actually block, spirits or whatnot from coming in your dreams. If maybe could that be it?
Yeah, I'd be really, really conscious of what crystals you've got in your room. Now, on a spiritual level, if you are wanting to open up your third eye and your crown chakra, always work with clear quartz because it amplifies everything. It allows the light. But you don't have that in your bedroom because you won't go to sleep.
You don't have it in the bedroom?
No. Anyone that's listening to this right now, if you have clear quartz in your bedroom, that's quite a significant piece. Take it out because
I think that's the name of the one that I have.
Yeah,
a lot of.
So take that out. You can have it anywhere in your house except for the bedrooms because you will not rest.
Okay.
With the clear quartz.
Yeah, I think I've got 10 of those right on my nightstand.
I'd be surprised.
So that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah. I would have amethyst, absolutely, because amethyst actually helps you also on a spiritual level. But for me personally, I have a beautiful amethyst sphere with me, and it actually helps me connect with spirit. So I would absolutely have amethyst, which is the purple one. There's a really beautiful purple one. Have that in your bedroom, and I feel that John's going to come to you in your dreams. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's actually like you're going to say, okay, I'm ready for you to come in now, but take all the clear quartz out. You can have a small piece like the size of, no bigger than an egg, because you will just be constantly switched on, and no one can do that. You need to be able to switch off. But for connection with John in particular, I feel that if you had a piece of amethyst, absolutely bring that in because it protects you and it only lets in good spirit as well. And John's just beautiful. I feel like I want to give him a hug. He's just so beautiful. He's also telling me to just trust yourself and back yourself. He's saying don't listen to the naysayers. So I feel that you're struggling a little bit on wanting to come out, well, for want of a better word, wanting to come out as a psychic. Just own it. He's telling me to step into it and own it. And, anyone that is trying to say, oh, that's all hoo-ha, just eyeball them and say thank you for your ignorance and walk away. And what you've done is you've acknowledged what they've said that you're not taking it on board, okay? And he's actually showing me, it's like he's trying to push you forward. I feel like he's standing behind you and he's trying to push you forward and going, you've got this. And he's showing me that you've got an incredible ability, but he's also showing me cards. So I feel that you need to be working with oracle cards or tarot cards to start with, because I feel that you'll start working with the cards, but I actually feel that you're going to then turn around and go, you know what, I don't need the cards. I feel that you're very clairvoyant, but I'm feeling also that you are very clairaudient. So you're going to be hearing a lot. And with all the hearing, you're going to be receiving so many messages, which are absolutely phenomenal. But John's just saying to me right now that he is very much around you all, but he's saying that read a certain book, because it's actually going to, the way it's written, you are going to absolutely take it all on board. You know, some people need to read a book and then they keep going back and what does that mean? And he's saying that this red book in particular is going to give you everything that you need, and it will be your go-to book. Okay. All right, Leah, I'm hoping you heard all that. So thank you, Leah, for the honour of reading for you today, and I hope you get a lot of comfort out of that. John it came through so fast. You know, sometimes I need to sit and just allow spirit to come in, but he was well and truly ready. But Leah, he's absolutely saying that now is your time to fully step into it. And now's your time, and that's what I'm getting. So from my heart to your heart, be kind to you and enjoy the ride that you're about to go on. So thanks, Leah. All righty, so next we have Ricky Lee in Brisbane in Australia. Hi, Ricky Lee, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Really good, darling. How can I help you today?
Well, I actually did have a previous conversation with one of the other lovely ladies there. I'm not sure. It wasn't you, because you have an Australian accent. Are you Australian, are you?
Yes, I'm down in Auburn.
Or are you American?
No, I'm Australian. I'm on the Murray River down in between New South Wales and Victoria.
Oh, wow. Yeah, we actually, when I was a child, I actually lived down in Albury Wodonga for a little bit, so I know exactly where you are.
Far out. Yeah, small world. Okay, honey, how can I help you?
I know. So, yeah, in our last conversation, I was having a chat regarding my father. He passed away in 2012, and we were in a conversation around him, and it did cut out mid-convo. So I'm just wanting a bit of, obviously, guidance to see if there's any sort of way I can connect with him, if there's any sort of, I'm just, a little bit confused in a lot of things and how my life's going to be, and I've had a lot of bad things happen. I just want to see what the future holds and if there's going to be any sort of financial change and relationships and all that sort of stuff.
Okay, so let's tap into this really quickly, because pretty much what you've asked for is nearly an hour reading. But anyway, all right, in regard to your dad.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just tapping into that at the moment, sorry. In regard to your dad, I feel that there was words left unsaid. Did someone owe someone an apology? Did your brother owe you an apology?
Yes, he actually left the world by suicide by choice, unfortunately, and I feel that there's definitely a lot of unsaid things that I'd love to clarify, obviously, with him, and
All right. Just very quickly, Ricky, what I'm saying is...
Yeah, I don't expect you to take a lot of time, that's fine.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Oh, man, because what I'm getting around your father is I feel that he was running away from demons, and those demons go back to when he was a little boy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just not sure of how much of your story he knows. That's all I'm just going to say right now that, oh, God, I feel like I want to hug him. I'm about to get really emotional because I feel that he had massive demons from his past.
Yeah, he really did.
It was like he was
he had a really, really tough childhood. Yeah.
Yeah. Was he a drinker?
He had a really hard life. Pardon?
Yeah. Was he a drinker?
He was before myself and my sister were born, and then after him and my mum split up before he passed away, he got back into drinking again after being sober for 25 years.
Yeah, and it's just a pattern thing. It was all the old feelings. I've got abandonment around him, but I feel that abandonment come from when he was a little boy. So he's just had this pattern going. Honey, if you take nothing else out of this very moment, he is at peace.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to hear that. He is finally at peace, and he's actually quite happy where he's at. Yes, he has regrets because I feel he didn't have a final goodbye with you guys, and he regrets that.
Yeah,
but
no,
he doesn't
we didn't get
regret,
that.
Yeah, he regrets that bit, but he doesn't regret that he's finally finished with the demons. He's absolutely transitioned over, and he's in a really, really beautiful place. Yeah,
that's really good. That's all I was so worried about because he was so damaged and so sad, and I'm glad that he's happy where he is. So,
honey, he's in a really peaceful state. It's almost like he's finally found his next life as he's transitioned over. I feel he's got a reconnection with a mate, and those two. Do you know if they used to do like drag races or?
Yes.
Was he into like the supercars and that sort of stuff?
Races. Yep. My dad used to rebuild them and drive them and paint them and race them. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. I feel that he's reconnected with a mate, and it's almost like they're causing harmless havoc again. You know, I've got a lot of laughter around him now.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah,
that sounds exactly like him too.
Yeah, no, that's really, really cool. And I don't know why, but I keep hearing Eagles songs. I don't know if they're an Eagle fan, like, you know, Hotel California.
He did
and that
listen
sort of
to
stuff.
the Eagles a little bit. Yeah. He loved his old country rock. He loved the country rock.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, so he's, you know,
that's really good.
What I'm seeing is he is absolutely in a great place, but he does regret not saying goodbye, but he was at his absolute wit's end, and for him, this was the only way he was ever going to pass over. He was never going to die a really old man. It was just like, now is his time, and he just had so many demons, Dale, but you need to hear that he is absolutely at peace right now. Yeah, absolutely
that's
beautiful.
And that's all that I wanted to know, because I obviously wanted to find out about that, so thank you.
Oh, my pleasure, honey. Absolute pleasure. But Ricky Lee, as soon as you said finances, when we first connected on this call, I had September coming at you. September, I see an ease. So, you know, if you're not working at the moment, I feel by September you are going to be back into the workforce, and I've actually got consistent money coming to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hoping for, being in a really, really tough place for a very long time.
Yeah. Oh, man, this is huge. What I'm being told right now, Ricky, is that you need to write a letter to yourself and apologise to yourself for the way you handle money. It's almost like you need to take ownership of it, and instead of sitting there going, you know, things have been really tough. Things have been really tough for everyone, but it's how we handle those tough times. And I feel for you, it's time for you to apologise to yourself and go, you know what, I haven't been the best money handler, and I apologise for that, but as of today, I'm going to change this. And we've got a super, super strawberry moon, like full moon tonight. So this would be absolutely perfect timing for you, Ricky Lee, because you're released.
Okay.
So write down everything and, you know, do the apology, but also write down that you are releasing all the negative energy around you in regard to your finances. You're releasing all that. And believe me, so go outside and then burn it. So tonight when you look up and you've got this beautiful moon, go outside and burn it, release all that negative energy to that, okay? Because I'm actually saying that come September, you are going to be in a whole different place financially. I feel it's almost like an overnight transition. And in fact, I'm feeling August the 12th, I'm not sure what that's about, but August the 12th is going to be a massive turnaround for you. Massive.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
that's 8 days after my birthday. My birthday is the 4th of August, so it must be something after my birthday.
yeah, I'm not sure when the new moon is in August. It could be around the new moon. I'm not sure on what date that is. But with a new moon, always set your intentions. So leading into your birthday, if there's a new moon, I would be writing down that your intention is that you are going to manage your funds better. And it's almost like before you go and buy something, you're going to take a big, deep breath and going, do I really need it? Or is it because I feel like I need something? You know, some people they go and buy a pair of shoes because they just love shoes, and it could be the colour, it could be the heel. But it's before you do that transaction, just go, hang on a minute, do I really need this? Because you'll probably find, it's like I've got a girlfriend who has 46 pairs of black shoes, and that is no exaggeration. I just went, really? She goes, well, I like them. I said, you've only got 2 feet. So just when you're looking at things like that, just think about really if you really, really need it. Okay? But I'm just getting, Rick, you're about to go on one hell of a ride. Like, I'm absolutely blown away about what's coming ahead for you. And believe me, it is positive. It's like this massive door is about to open. There is gold light shining. So just keep heading in the right. I feel that you are definitely, it's like you've got the blinker on and you're wanting to get into the other lane. And that is definitely coming ahead. Absolutely. You're about to go down the right path. Okay? Yeah, incredible things coming, Ricky Lee, and I'm really, so just make sure that you do the work in regard to the full moon. Write yourself a letter and apologise for the way you've handled money, and then release that tonight with the full moon, and then just start being very proactive and setting your intentions on what you're going to be, what you want your future to go. But Ricky Lee, I've just got phenomenal stuff happening for you. All right, so thank you for the honour of reading for you, darling. And, okay, folks, so just finishing up, we have the beautiful Bethelaine Haynes joining us next week to talk about our chakras and how important it is to keep them balanced and cleansed. And from my heart to your heart, be kind to you. Have a fabulous week, and I will be talking to you all next week, same time. Thanks, everyone.
to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network, and watching Moonstruck TV, enlightening television. Welcome.
Time for Your Time to Shine with Julie Yeager-Walker. Live from Wings of Souls with Julie.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/psychic radio. Or one of our websites, askoneradio.com or moonstruck.tv.
This is Your Time to Shine
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
Everyone, and welcome to Your Time to Shine, a radio show designed to help you explore your own divine gifts. How is everyone this evening? I can't even talk, frankly. It's been such a crazy week. I can't believe it's already Thursday. I don't know where the week has gone, but I don't know about you, but I'm ready for Friday. I'm ready for a weekend and for a little bit of a break. So I hope you are all doing well out there in all of the craziness. And I'm just sending tons and tons of love and prayers to everybody out there who is just going through some troubling times and some hurt and confusion. And just know that I'm holding space for all of you to get through this time. And we will get through this time. Just remember to have hope. So tonight, as I was sitting here preparing for tonight and trying to think of a topic, something that came up that is something that we've talked about in the past, if you've been following me for any length of time at all, the statement of I am. And what a powerful statement that is. So, the statement I am actually comes directly from the Bible, and God is talking about himself as I am. So since we are all part of a God, of a higher power, the statement of I am reverberates within each of us. And as you speak I am, it brings in so much power into your realm, into your being, that we don't even think about it. We just actually take it for granted. You know, you walk up to a friend and you make conversation and you're like, how are you today? And the friend responds, well, I am, and then fill in the blank. I am tired. I am having aches and pains in my body today. I am hurting, or I am great. I am amazing today. I feel fantastic, right? So there's those juxtapositions of the positive and the negative. Now, of course, if you're using the positive, you know, I am energetic. I am electric. I am happy. I am feeling great. Those are all really positive things that we want to reinforce within our being. And so those are the things that are perfect for using the I am statement. Now, other things like what we would consider maybe not the best use of the I am, you know, I am tired. I am hungry. I am in pain. Those types of things you don't want to bring into your being. Now, you obviously, you're recognizing an energy, and everything is energy. Everything in the world around us is energy, and it affects us. So when we're thinking about the I am statement, and you say, I am tired, what that's doing is it's actually bringing that into your awareness. It's pulling it in and literally pulling it into your being. And then literally you become even more tired than what you were before. Or you become more grumpy, or more sad, or more pain. Whatever it is that you've attached with the I am statement, it's bringing more of, and it's more pronounced when you do that. So if you can remember that everything is energy, and that you can remember to use something more like, I am feeling the energy of tired. I'm understanding the energy of being tired. What that does is it kind of takes that charge out of whatever statement it is that you are talking about, whether it's hungry, tired, grumpy, sad. I'm feeling the energy of sadness today. I feel the energy of being sad. Now, it sounds a little strange. It's definitely not something that we were ever, you know, brought into our awareness, our attention when we were being taught our verbal language in school. So it is a little bit of an adjustment. But if you start the practice of it, you'll find that all those negative connotations, they won't really have the same effect on you and your body. And that can be a really fantastic thing. So just remembering those I am statements and instead using the feeling of can really help and change how you're feeling in the moment. Try it sometime. If you are feeling tired, instead of saying, I am tired, I am recognizing the feeling of being tired. And see if even just the mentioning of it doesn't change something in your awareness, in your consciousness, in your brain, and it changes the entire effect. It's really a very powerful tool, one that I use, and of course, it takes a while to change that thinking in your brain, literally. So it takes some time to get used to. So just work with it. Work with it into your everyday language and see if you can't get that charge to come out of those words. Because I can tell you that it really can make a huge difference. Especially right now, we're getting ready to go into, another full moon and an eclipse. And so energies are really, really high and really charged. And so having this little help with the I am statement and putting in, I am feeling the energy of, can really help navigate this a little bit more. So use it and try it and work with it. I think you'll be amazed at what it will do. So now we're going to go to the phone lines. And we have Amanda in Virginia. Welcome to Your Time to Shine.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What can we do for you tonight?
I was wondering if you can get a message from my dad. His name is Chris.
His name is Chris?
Yep.
Okay. Hold on just a moment. Let me see if I can tap into that, and I'll be right back with you, okay? There's going to be a little minute of silence.
All right.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Wow, your dad has some really big energy, some really big, amazing, beautiful energy. He was a real big teddy bear, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. He wants you to know that he loves you so much. He's around you all the time. He's showing me that you have 2 kids. Is that correct?
I only have one.
One, okay.
But he has 2 grandchildren.
Okay. Oh, that's where the 2's coming from. His grandchildren. Because he says he's with his grandchildren all the time. He's right there with them. Yeah, he is so proud of them. He is just he's absolutely beaming. He misses everybody so much, but he wants you to know that he's with you every single day. And with the kids, I can see him playing like side by side, in creation of what they're doing and their everyday lives, really. Yeah, he's so proud of all of them, and all of you guys, really. He wishes that he could be here, be here with you. He said, especially through all these troubling times, he wants you to know that you don't need to be fearful of all of this. It's all going to pass, he says. And he is right here to support you and guide you through this every step of the way, he says. Hang on just a moment. So your child is a son, is that correct? You have a son?
No, I have a daughter.
You have a daughter. Okay, good. So he's zeroing it. So is the other grandchild a son?
No, both girls.
They're both girls. Interesting. He was showing me a boy. He's saying that one of them is having a really hard time concentrating. One is school age. He's showing me them as one of them being in like grade school.
My daughter.
And having a hard time concentrating, not being able to really navigate this whole being taught from home or being taught from school. He says that's going to get easier. She's going to figure out how to navigate that. And so,
my daughter is always taught from home, so now.
Okay.
He's showing
her. Okay. he's showing me that there's been some problems with navigating that. But he's saying not to worry about that because that's all. It's going to shift and change, and it's going to click. Okay. So not to be concerned about that right now. Was there another question that you had for me? He's shaking his hand no, like he has said what he has needed to say. So is there another specific question that you have that you'd like to have answered?
No, I just wanted to see if I had any message from him.
Okay. Okay. But just know that he has so much love for you. And know that he's always with you. You can call upon him anytime you need help with anything. He's right there to help.
Alrighty.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling in tonight. Have a wonderful evening.
You do the same.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Next, we have Trina in Alberta, Canada. Good evening.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. What is it that we can help you with tonight?
I'm just looking to have a reading done. Just in general, I guess for my life, I've been in a hard spot and wanted to know what anything positive coming into my life or. No fun.
Hi, Trina. Can you do you mind repeating your question for me?
I'm just wondering, for future, like am I going to get past everything I'm going through? Is it going to get better? Is it is it going to get better? Is it going to be get over the turtle that I'm in?
Okay. So Trina, I think your connection is a little tough to get. You're asking about something if it's going to get better or not, but I'm missing the part about what it is that you need to have clarified for you?
Relationship-wise, mostly relationship and moving forward from being engaged, and getting out of a terrible relationship. And
Okay. Okay. A relationship and engagement, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So let me tune into you, into your loved ones right now. So hang on for just a few minutes, just a moment, and then I'll get right back to you, okay?
Okay, great.
Okay.
I'll hang up on it.
So Trina, I'm feeling like there's a little bit of there's an energy about this and around this relationship that I'm kind of trying to navigate and get Spirit to give me a little bit more information on. You guys are definitely not on the same page.
Or not what?
You're definitely not on the same page. It feels like there's a little bit of discourse between you guys. Have you been finding that you guys haven't been really seeing eye to eye, or
well, and that's what I'm trying. That's if we're talking about so my ex fiance and I split up on not good terms, and it's progressively getting worse and worse, and there's kids involved, and then I got into a relationship afterwards that was even worse. But now I'm trying to find out what the future is of me and my kid's father. Is it that it's just going to be terrible the way it is? Are we going to be able to mend ways and be friends? Am I going to be able to find, being married myself, or is that, I'm just lost with that right now with everything.
Right.
So me and him definitely don't see eye to eye. But if you've seen us before, we were like best friends for 12 years, and now we can't even sit in the same room with each other because of, his girlfriend that he cheated on me with, like that.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like that relationship, there's a lot of tension. There are a lot of unanswered questions. There's a lot of unanswered things that go along with that relationship that is not allowing you guys to kind of separate energetically and be released. There's been no conversation about anything, about anything that has happened between you all. And so that's bringing a lot of discourse. There needs to be some ties, some etherical cords there cut in order for both of you to move on. Because right now you guys are still tethered. And I'm not talking about because of kids or family ties or anything like that. There are etherical cords that are tying the two of you together. Once those ties are cut, once some of that is released, then both of you are going to be able to go your separate ways and be able to continue in your everyday life. And I do see you finding someone down the road who is going to love you and cherish you and treat you the way that you really should be treated. They're saying a level of care, a level of standard in which you are wanting to live your life, essentially.
But when my question, how is that like with kids involved? It's hard to cut ties with family, right? We'll always have that. We have to coincide. We have to like. But the girl. I have a hard time because the girl that he is with now is the one that like home wrecked my family, and me and her butt heads. And I never thought that he would like basically side with that situation more than like me with his kids. Like we went from best friends to. It's like he doesn't even know me. Like,
right. When I say cut ties, I'm not talking cut literal ties, because when you are married to somebody and you have kids, there is a level of needing to be at least civil with each other, to understand what you need to do for the family and continue that on. What I'm talking about is energetic cords, okay? So if you can see yourself literally like having like a golden rope tied between the two of you, that's what I'm talking about, this etherical, energetic cord. And if you can see that cord, like taking big scissors and cutting that cord, right? And if this is something that you're unable to tie and to cut yourself, there are healers in your area that can help you cut those ties and those etherical cords and do some healing. But those cords need to be cut in order for you guys to be able to move on.
Okay.
Okay. And we're coming down to the last few seconds of our show. So I hope that I've been helpful for you this evening. Yep. Well, thank you so much for calling in tonight. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in this evening. That does it for me. If you would like to get in touch with me to have your own personal one-on-one reading, you can reach me on my Wings of Souls page, which is www.wingsofsoulswithjulie.com. You can also reach me on my two Facebook pages, Julie Yeager Walker Medium and Your Time to Shine. I'm going to be updating my website with some new classes coming up in June and July, so be looking for that. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and we will see you next week.
You're listening to A1R Psychic Radio, Earth's #1 psychic radio network. and watching Moonstruck TV and Lightning Television. Welcome.
Time for Avid Advice Live with Thea Johansson. Live from AvidAdviceLive.com.
Connect direct. In North America, dial 888-454-2751. In London, 20-3519-2158. In Sydney, dial 02-8488-3147. Or online, contact us through our Facebook page, facebook.com/Psychic Radio.
Or one of our websites,
AskOneRadio.com or Moonstruck.tv.
This is Avid Advice Live
on A1R, the Ask One Radio Network.
You're watching Focus on South Florida.
Welcome back. Did you know that police departments across the country and even the CIA sometimes turn to psychics to help them solve cases? Victims' families looking for answers also turn to mediums for closure. Fiona Johansson is an author as well as a licensed psychologist and hypnotist. She's also claimed to have psychic abilities that have saved lives, and she's perhaps best known for working with people to help find missing people when more conventional means come up short. I recently sat down with her to talk about how this all began and the advice she has for all of us. Okay, so what exactly do you do when you work with law enforcement and you work with the families of missing victims or unsolved crimes? What kind of work do you do with them?
Helping them to find some relief, some closure for family members, and also law enforcement to put all the puzzles together to find the real answer for the families.
How did this all come about? I mean, how did you discover this was actually something you were going to pursue, or that you had some sort of intuition to help people with this kind of work?
I was 7.5 when I found about my abilities. Then I started kind of like to feel something is not correct with me or right with me, because I can feel, sense, and connect with people before even I meet them, before even being in the place that they are, and I can even predict things 2 weeks before things happened. So basically, to me as a child was not really the cool experience, but then after that, after the age of 17, 18, and 19, I thought that's the fantastic things, because now I can feel and sense anything and everything in my way and my family's way to help. I moved from my country to Stockholm, Sweden when I was teenager, when I was around the age of 16. So basically it was hard. It was not really easy for me, but what I learned, I do have ability. I am here for some very important purpose. I have to help others.
So how did this connection with law enforcement first happen? And aren't law enforcement officers initially skeptical about what kind of science is this? How are we going to solve a crime?
Actually, they don't. No? CIA use psychics. FBI use psychics. They do not really, that's what you think they are. But you have to be real. You have to have some abilities, and you have to feel and sense and locate people, and actually do have some paranormal to trying to help them to locate people. So basically, when I started, I was at the age of 17. I was back in Stockholm. It was actually a very hot summer, and all of a sudden I felt that I have some very hot vision in my face. It sounds like someone trying to be killed or someone already been killed, and it was already recent. I could feel, I could sense the blood and everything. Then I went to the store, and all of a sudden I see that, yes, that was actually some sort of, homicide and other stuff all over the place. And I kind of remember that I tried to stop the officer and say, stop, don't go there. At that time, I couldn't speak English. I couldn't speak Swedish. And I don't even know how I could explain myself to that officer and hold him. He tried to push me. He says, no, I have to just get out or give me, or just please let me. But I do remember, I hold him and says, if you go behind this wall, you will have a shot in your head and die right away. And almost 60 seconds after, they found the guy with the gun behind the wall. And if I did not stop the officer, he would be dead in a second. So that was the moment that my career started for law enforcement in Stockholm.
Tell me about this book you're writing with Jack Canfield. We all know him for Chicken Soup for the Soul, and you're working on a project together. Yes. Tell me about that.
Yes. The name of the book is Success Strategy, So it's all about success, how to hijack your subconscious mind, how to succeed, and what you can do to achieve better. So basically, when Jack chose me, I was shocked. I was like, wow, it's so fantastic, and I would love to be part of it. I already have a book. I already wrote the book before Jack asked me. It was back 2016, and the name was Recoding Your Brain for the Better Life.
You're also a hypnotist, and
Yes.
you have degrees in psychology. I want to point that out, too.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes. But what was a very strong, powerful vision that come to me at that moment when Jack asked me about it, I feel like I knew it, that I will do something with Jack. And I could see 2 months before that I'm sitting in the same room that the last time me and Jack had a conversation with, and he asked, I would love to go authoring together with you. I can't forget about that moment. I do remember I had tears in my eyes. I was like, absolutely, I will do my best.
So we have to wrap up quickly, but what are a few tips that anyone can take with them in terms of keeping that negativity that might be around them outside of their
Believe in yourself. Be positive. Never live in your past. Past is past. Never live in the future, because future is future. Be in a moment. By being in a moment, you're always happy and connected to yourself. Negative thoughts, negative energies is all in our thought. The way that we are thinking, feeling, and connecting. You can easily remove and reduce them by just change your thoughts. You can easily hijack your subconscious. Be yourself, hijack your subconscious, be in a moment, let go of your past, and forget about the future.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Dr. Hansen, who also goes by the Persian Medium, also works on books, as you heard, guided meditations, and art.
There is somebody's mom here. She directed to you right now.
Fee was actually channeling my mother.
I have her right now with me.
She passed away 3 years ago.
She says, forgive me.
Hearing from my mom was amazing.
What she told you before, 3 days before she passed.
That she loves me and that she'll see me soon.
She's directing me another woman in the room. Please.
My grandmother was my mentor growing up.
There's two women that directed by her right now. You and her. She's talking about the man that she was concerned, and she's still concerned, and she asked for forgiveness for that man as well.
The man that she brought forward to forgive, that's my brother.
She's telling you to stop being weak. Bring more confidence into your life.
You know, we're all at different points in our lives. We've all been through different experiences, traumas, excitements, joy.
She's proud of you. You're quick in something. You stopped something that was very hard for you to do.
You wouldn't think that 10 years ago that I was addicted to drugs.
She says, I'm proud of you. Continue.
I never stopped asking the universe to show me the way.
She's talking about your pain. Let it go.
I don't have to have that story anymore. I don't have to hold on to the story of my pain, of my past, of my trauma. Today, I can let it go.
Let it go! She said, can you forgive me?
Yes.
Say goodbye to all things that could stop you to succeed, to feel good, to connect with your soul. Say yes high.
Yes.
Loud.
Yes.
Louder.
Yes.
She's asking you, can you forgive that person? She's directing someone else. She's directing a man. She's directing someone. Can you forgive that person? Can you forgive that person for her? Loud!
Yes, I forgive him.
Why you do forgive him? She want to know.
I forgive him for myself.
You are worthy enough to do everything for yourself. Not for anybody else, for yourself.
I know that takes a lot from her, but she gives. And she gives and she gives.
She's asking you to be strong, to be powerful, to be connected to your soul. You don't need anyone's affection and approval to be perfect. You are already perfect. Believe in yourself.
Yes.
Just say, yes, I do believe in myself.
Yes, I do believe in myself.
Louder!
Yes, I do believe in myself.
Louder!
Yes, I do believe in myself. And I believed in her. We're all from Brooklyn, New York, so there was a very Jewish Italian community there where people's homes were open and they would intermingle and share their faiths, share their food.
She's talking about backyard. She's talking about the trees. She's talking about dishes. She's talking about the chicken. She's talking about the chair. She's talking about everything. Please direct her what she's trying to say.
Hannah's house.
Yes, my mom's house. We all lived together. I mean, they lived there with my mom and my dad. They were always together. We were always together. Always cooking. She actually made a better chicken parmesan than my mother.
Yeah, hers was better. But don't tell her that.
Yeah, don't tell my mom that.
Don't tell Nana.
There is a power in sadness. There is a power in pain. And the power comes when you overcome it.
Talking to her really, really helped me, I think. It's definitely going to kind of just clear my mind of all the negative thoughts that I had.
My father, Congressman Ron Dellums, who passed away a year and a half ago, visited FIA.
Today was a day to remember Ron Dellums, who in 1970 brought to Congress an anti-war and anti-apartheid stance that was branded as radical and dangerous.
Oh my God. He's asking, do you remember my hand?
Oh,
Do you remember what I told you?
Yeah.
Do you remember why I told you?
Yeah.
Dellums' youngest daughter, Piper, is proud that her father became an early voice against oppression in South Africa, applying pressure that would one day bring an end to apartheid.
You said, take my legacy, take my mantle. You're the smartest person I know. Go into the world and heal the land and do it in your way.
You know, Ron never gave up, never became bitter. He loved people.
This is not my hand, this is your dad. He wanted you to tell again, louder, louder, and clear, what he told you.
I'm passing you my mantle, I'm passing you my anointing, and passing it to you. You're the smartest one that I know. Run. There's so much work to be done. Run, run, run and heal the world, and don't stop. Do it in your way. Run, baby girl. Do it in your way.
So she's spoken to me like a sister, but also like an angel.
He said, I saw you when you cried in front of that candle. Why did you cry?
She's given me the faith and trust and support that was being given me by my dad before he left. So she's done this beautiful transition of allowing me not to feel the void of his leaving.
I don't know where to go when I'm not speaking with you, or I just don't know how to feel safe in the world without you in it.
In the area where I don't have a female in my life, because I don't have a relationship with my mother, and I don't have a sister. She has stepped in with the feminine to remind me that I am also loved and purposeful and beautiful and worthy, that I'm valuable.
It's not just me that tried to basically sending you messages and changing her. She changed me in so many ways as well.
So our silly song goes this way. We are the key to do more than just let it be. The key to our destiny is in the hands of our humanity. His love is more than a philosophy. 'Cause we are the key.
We are the key.
Yeah.
But Diamond.
Welcome back to the Global Entrepreneurship Initiative. I'm excited to introduce our next speaker, Ms. Fia Johansson, who's better known as the Persian medium and subconscious mind surgeon. She's a multi-talented motivational speaker, clinical hypnotherapist, and celebrity psychic medium. An author who works closely with law enforcement to help locate missing people and solve difficult criminal cases with detectives and as well as private investigators. Throughout her career, she's helped thousands of people identify personal roadblocks to help them truly believe in their own path to success, whatever that dream may be. Her greatest passion in life is helping others achieve their ultimate dreams and desires, teaching people to believe that truly anything is possible. Please help me welcome to the stage Ms. Fia Johansson.
Welcome back. Did you know that police departments across the country and even the CIA sometimes turn to psychics to help them solve cases? Victims' families looking for answers also turn to mediums for closure. Fiona Johansson is an author as well as a licensed psychologist and hypnotist. Welcome back. Our next guest is a celebrity medium, a clinical hypnotherapist, a holistic healer, and holds a master's in psychology. Fia Johansson is known as the Persian medium, and she's even worked with intelligence agencies and law enforcement to find answers in cases. She also wants all of us to discover our best selves. Fia, good morning.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Jack Canford, your host for Hollywood Live. My next guest, Fia Johansson, is an amazing person. She is speaks 5 languages, which I find very impressive. She's emigrated to several countries, has a psychology degree from the University of Stockholm in Sweden. She is a hypnotherapist, clinical hypnotherapist and healer, and God knows probably other things I don't even know about.
Hi, welcome back to Times Square Today. I am your host, Greg Roulette, and I am very excited for our next guest because she is known as the Persian medium, the subconscious mind surgeon. She's a motivational speaker, clinical hypnotherapist, and celebrity psychic medium. This is going to be a fascinating conversation with my good friend, Fia Johansson.
For centuries, it's believed that mediums have been able to mediate communication between spirits of the dead and living human beings. People usually recruit mediums to help them get in contact with family members or friends who have passed on. But celebrity psychic Fiona Johansson is also using her abilities to help law enforcement solve cold cases and help exonerate and free innocent inmates. And Fiona is joining us now. Fiona, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. How are you doing
Welcome back to Times Square Today. I am your host, Greg Roulette, and I am very excited for our next guest because she is known as the Persian medium, the subconscious mind surgeon. She's a motivational speaker, clinical hypnotherapist, and celebrity psychic medium. This is going to be a fascinating conversation with my good friend, Fia Johansson. Fia, how are you doing? Welcome
nice
to the show.
Meet you. Thank you.
I'm so excited to talk about what you've been up to because you've been getting some major attention lately, some amazing work with law enforcement. You've recently been featured in Forbes, Wall Street. Like, what's going on? Like, let's just start there. What's been happening with you?
Yeah, I'm shocked too, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm honored to be featured on Forbes magazine and also co-authoring with Jack and Phil. And at the same time, I find my purpose. And my purpose was about to help others. And I started my career with law enforcement when I was at the age of 17. And I started in Stockholm. And when I came to US, I feel that I have to do the same because I do have a gift. I could help people, 1 million of them worldwide.
Yeah.
And why not? They need me and I need them to make them to feel good, relieved. And then every family who reached out to me because of their missing persons, because of a lot of other individual cases, the most important part was if I can bring any relief and any happiness to them. which for me was a blessing when I could feel that I could at least actually give them some closure for their thought, their emotional feelings, and then, connection with themselves again.
Exactly. Yeah, families, we need a lot of that right here, right now, today. Why do you think this is all happening now, right? Was it a certain case? Was it just you saying, I need to break through? Like, why is all this attention coming your way now? The books, the media, the new business, like, why now?
I've always been around media. But this time, because of a couple of cases that I can't mention because of the security reason, I've been very known, and those cases been kind of huge cases, and Forbes got attention. That was a blessing.
Yeah.
And that was the feeling actually that I had, and then they reached out, they want to feature me, and then after that everything, and I'm actually going to be featured on Wall Street Journal in July.
Wow.
So I had a interview with iHeartRadio today. They reached out after they saw Forbes, and it was amazing. People ask me, are you just finding missing people, or are you kind of like just working with the law enforcement? No, I don't. I actually work with individual cases with people, like when people wants to talk to me and communicate with me, ask me about anything and everything.
Yeah.
It could be their love life, it could be their investments, it could be any other type of the cases, like as a business entrepreneur that they do have. So that's what I do, actually help them out.
So when does someone seek out a medium? At what point in their journey, whether it's for a missing person, for a loved one, for like their own life, when do they seek you out? Are you the last resort to help give me closure to the case, or are people starting to really see the value in bringing you into a case early?
Definitely when all the cases are starting, so they know already about like what's going on around that case. But sometimes it's very hard to put all the puzzles together to find that specific person or that specific crimes. So that's why, especially cold cases, so that's why when I came in the middle, I'm receiving those messages, I'm connecting, and at the same time, I help them to put more puzzles together and more communication with people, and that would make them to succeed faster.
Now, is this something that law enforcement has been using for forever? Is this something new to them?
It's not something new. CIA actually used psychics for so many years, and also other law enforcement also using psychic. Google using psychics, and but it's not every person. So you have to have a talent, you have to have a gift, and they are not a joke. If you are not deliver, if you are just pretending or acting, nothing good is going to happen. So you have to have the gift, you have to have a talent, and they want to see the proof and test.
Yeah.
And believe me or not, I think and I believe so strongly, law enforcement, they do have some psychic abilities by themselves, because they knew what's going on, but they're not really believing in their inner voice or their thought and subconscious until they get in connect, example, with me, and I'm just like, well, you already found it, but you pass it down. Why? Because you doubted about. So we do all have. We are based on energies. We pick up energies. We're receiving energies, but we have to listen and we have to connect with that energies.
What do you think it is that makes you unique? Like, why do they bring you in for these cases?
Because I'm stubborn, and because I'm telling law enforcement what to do and not to do. And if they are not listening, I'm getting out from the room. And they know me. People who actually worked with me in the past, they know I'm real and I'm serious. People who may just shaking hand with me just because of other sources that have been interviewed or introduced by. So then they kind of like, it takes time for them, maybe about 24 hours or 48 hours to get to know me. After that, they would say, well, whatever you says, yes, we do.
I love that. And the stubbornness is taking you to really good places right now. I love it. Where do you want this to go? Like, so the writing the books, the getting the attention, working with law enforcement, working with, like, where do you see yourself growing this?
I have no roof. There's no roof for me. And as long as I can help other people, that's exactly what life is. I mean, I think I do have a gift just because of one purpose. Just be there for people and let people bring love and happiness to you. And as long as I know and I feel and I breathe, I would love to help as many as I can. So people who want to talk to me about their personal issues, because I'm a clinical hypnotherapist too, so I'm removing addiction, any type of addictions with hypno.
Yeah.
I'm also actually having master degrees, psychologist master degrees from actually University of Stockholm. So basically, I can do a lot for people as far as I did all my life. Like at the age of 7.5 when I found about my abilities.
Yeah.
From that time until now, everything is just rock for me.
I love that. Now, this is a fun question we ask everybody on the show. If you could go back in time, right? So whether this is you just starting your business, maybe it was when you were young and you found out these abilities. If you could give yourself a piece of advice, knowing now what you know and where this has taken you, what would you tell yourself?
Be your own leader. Lead yourself and always be yourself. Never try to pretend to be somebody. Never try to change yourself just because someone or somebody or some country wants it you to be. Bring your unique personality, tap into your talent and energies, and just bring inspiration to people. When we are sending love and inspiration, we are receiving the same.
Yeah.
So just be yourself, be happy, and be thankful.
I love that. Now, if someone is watching this right now, and I know they are, and they're like, I need a Persian medium in my life, I need her to help my organization, like, where can they learn more? Where do they see how you can actually help them?
I do have a platform named Avid Advice, A-V-I-D Advice, avidadvice.com. So people can reach out through my avidadvice.com platform. I do have Instagram, Persian Medium basically. Just type Persian Medium.
Love it.
I have over 1,200,000 followers already, so I would love to have more followers. Also avidawakening.com is my place in Corona Del Mar, Newport Beach.
Okay.
But right now the waiting list is about like February 23rd, 2020. But people who would love to meet me face to face, I would say go to fiona@avidawakening.com, send an email, and I will be there for you in no time.
Lots of different ways to learn more, lots of different ways to contact you. Please reach out because she can help you, whether it's getting closure or learning more or getting that insight into what you need to know. Fia, thank you so much for being a guest here.
Thank you so
today.
much. Thank you.
Definitely. And we'll be back with more from Times Square today in just a minute.